Good morning, everyone.
Hello, hi. How's it going? Been a minute.
It's been a couple of minutes. That's how the passage of time works.
Yes, and it has to be kind of odd passage of time since you're in the future.
I am. I did that just to inconvenience everyone else.
Yes, to
Okay.
to just trip the Americans up.
Yeah.
We deserve it.
The future. Well, since we've been slapped in the face with a penis already, are sound alerts working again for everyone? Can we all? Are we all experiencing penis collectively?
Are we experiencing the actual cock and ball torture via sound bits?
We are. Excellent. I would
Awesome.
hate for you guys to miss out on some penis.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome all to our stream where we take all of your opinions and these games that have deep and sentimental value to you and judge you on a moral and personal level.
And potentially on a level that probably involves a
You suck.
trying to think what the proper way to put that is.
Well, apparently we suck, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair. Well, not yet. We might agree. I've seen some of the titles on here where I'm just like, oh yeah, that's on my list too.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely played some of the games that I've seen on a lot of the lists, which are, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say are good. Not necessarily favorites of mine, but if they're favorites of yours, then all power to you.
You do you. You do you.
You do
Anyway,
you.
I don't feel like he needs much in the way of introduction, but this is Will. Say hi,
Hello.
Will.
Hello, chat. Hi. I'm the guy that occasionally bonks Lilith in chat
He does.
and also gets people jealous by posting really good food pics in the Discord.
That is true. There is definitely a non-zero amount of times that I'll be like, oh, Will's posted a picture, and I go and look, and I'm just like, you know what? Fuck you, actually. There is a lot of Call of Duties here. Oh,
Yeah, I
Neppy. All right, Neppy wants me to say something super Aussie. I've literally seen the picture. She sent the picture. It's like a millipede or something with a cigarette from a Facebook group called, was it Animals with Ciggies or like something just really bogan and Australian. But this was a threat coming for some time to say super Aussie. So hang on, let me just tap into my inner bogan.
get into the prayer pose with with a can of Foster's.
Exactly. Although, fun fact, Foster's isn't widely drunk here. It's just like a weird anachronism where people think that it's like a super popular beer here, but like no one drinks it here. Anyway,
Really?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It's like the whole like shrimps on a Barbie thing. We don't call them shrimp. We call them prawns. Yeah.
Hmm.
Fun facts.
I'm fine with both names considering the American vernacular, but prawns sounds like the insult for a seafaring RPG folk.
Prawn.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Tell me less. Okay, sorry. Sorry for ruining everyone's shrimp on the Barbie fantasies. But also, Cal, thank you so much for the bits. I will give you a compliment in just a moment. In fact, we can both give you compliments now. There's a threat and a promise. But first, let me give Nappy her the thing that she's been waiting for. I have no fucking idea what this cunt even is, but he is chuffing back a fat dart, and that's all that matters.
Hey, you always chaffing back a dot.
He's chuffing back
Getting back there.
He's having some
He's sitting back
durries,
there
mate.
chuffing. Oh, he's got some duff. He's got some imports there, and he's just shouting with the lads over here, just having a good old laugh,
He's
watching
just
some football.
he's just fucking around with the boys, having some
Got some
having
fresh
some
rugby
durries
bruises.
down the servo. Get some fucking prawns.
Get the Maccas later.
You're so close to getting a very good Australian accent, but there's like a few things that I can't even quite like articulate in the vowel sounds where it's like it's just not quite right. It's an American doing an Australian accent.
I'll get there someday.
I believe in you. You can do it. You just have to mimic my accent.
Well, I mean, yours is more of the posh version, right?
It is. It is. Unfortunately, you're going to sound a little more British. And in fact, I do sometimes get people being like, "Oh my god, British girl." And I'm like, "Nah. Nah, man."
Yeah, for me anytime I do British, my dad just keeps saying I'm trying to sound like Paul McCartney.
I can see that.
All right.
All
So
right,
let's give the compliments to Cal.
Cal,
and then we
who
can get started.
is super cute and pattable and fluffy and talented and I mean, I love cats in general, but I would absolutely keep Cal in my little cat palace and give him little kibble treats every day because that's what he deserves.
Also has really nice timing with the sound bits.
100%. It is definitely an art form. Not everyone's got it, but Cal's got the luck. He's got the talent. We love to see it.
We love to see that here.
Exactly.
Comedic timing is always a cornerstone of true awesomeness.
Exactly. You can put that on your resume and smoke it.
Maslow's the hierarchy of needs. One of them has to be comedic timing.
I think it should be. I think it should be at the top. Because like if you failed in everything else, you know, if you've at least got your sense of humor, you can get anywhere in life.
Yeah.
Also, fancy Australian sounds like something that doesn't sound like a compliment. That's, well, I guess it depends on your perspective. It's because I come from the place where they're like, oh, we're going to go settle in the free colonies. We're not prisoners. We're the aristocrats who can afford to go and go down to this little hot place. That sounds lovely. But then it's just like nowadays, South Australia is very overlooked. It's where people go to retire.
Yeah, kind of the same problem with a lot of places in the States where it's like, oh, the fancy Americans that have got all of the good foods and all of the interesting, like, large buildings, big yards.
Yep.
Even though lawns kill biodiversity, we support biodiversity here.
Absolutely.
And like, oh, they go golfing twice a week, but then you just have like a bunch of old people taking up those homes and causing residency prices to keep skyrocketing, and then
Don't even get me started on golf courses. I will happily go off about how lawns are the worst thing ever. Like, grass is a capitalist construct. Destroy it. Also, yay, Jack, we're starting off with yours. I tried to do it a little bit first come, first served as much as I could, so lawns are garbage.
They are garbage.
Also,
and
Cal,
some people are
if you're
actually
going to
allergic to
sleep,
grass.
love you. Have a good sleep. Sweet dreams. Goodbye.
Sleep well, Cal.
Hey, mwah, there you go. There's a little kiss on the forehead to tuck you in.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't let anything bite you in bed. That's what I say. That's what I'm known for always saying.
Don't let the boogeyman under the bed nibble on your toes now. He's a bit of a freak.
Delicious. Too late. Damn it. Looney, we talked about this.
You can't keep wanting to fuck the boogeyman.
You can't keep getting away with it.
The monster fuckers can't keep getting away with this.
Oh, look at all these people in chat just being like, oh, well, my partner, you know, my wife, my girlfriend. Okay, we get it.
Shit.
You guys fuck. Jack.
Jack 29,300.
Well, look at that outpour of support.
Aww.
To you, Tishio.
Shut, because I need a little thing so that you guys can see the little like hand wave that I do when I get embarrassed. Just don't stop.
Yeah, just like
Jack
yeah,
29,000.
like that fancy little like wrist cock of like, oh you know.
Yes.
I don't know what the equivalent of that for my Texan origins would be. Probably like a hand on the chest going, oh, bless your heart.
Aww.
Bless your heart.
Bless your cotton socks.
Yeah, yeah. Ugh. Ah, all right. Are we ready? Jack, are you ready to
As
are
soon
you
as-
ready to have your tastes judged?
As soon as the little songs are finished, because for me, I can't hear anything else.
Right. The sound of dollar bills hitting the floor.
Of just getting smacked in the face with them. Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Actual
Ah.
actual Yakuza heat move.
Exactly. You're drunk. Oh, this is gonna be great then.
Oh, this will be fun.
Also, Favi, don't introduce yourself don't bite people in the first introduction. At least wait till the second date. Come on. Have some standards
Yeah,
for
wait.
yourself.
Wait till the second date and
Yeah.
and maybe if it's at the pub or maybe maybe it's at the con hotel and everybody's just winding down and their feet are sore. It's like, okay, you can have one nibble.
Then you can bite their toes. Yeah. Anyway, judgment time. Enough
So-
about the toes.
Enough about toes. Let's judge video games.
I agree. All right. Now, my first thoughts here is that we've got like a lot of consistency in terms of like, you know, series. Like there's a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of Grand Theft Auto, a lot of Fallout, but like I'm not mad at it because these are all arguably like really good standout games in their own right.
Yeah. At the very least, they're entries that are what would be considered the top of their respective series. Like Fallout New Vegas being on here, for instance. Fallout 4 as well. Fallout 4, I hear, is kind of good for being an open world shooter, but kind of light on the very light on RPG stuff. But New Vegas is like the other side of the coin, where it's like gameplay can kind of not be much to speak of, but the story and writing in it is just. I mean, it's still praised to this day for it, even though the game barely functions well. I once tried to play New Vegas and had it crash like 3 times in a row. I'm not kidding. The game is held together by wet tissue papers, spit, and the dreams that art college graduates have when they want to work at Disney.
So I've heard. Like Fallout New Vegas has a heart and a dream, and that's about it. But like, I feel like because it's got such a strong modding community, it's one of those ones where people have done a lot of patching and like, you know, there's a lot of community support for being able to even out some of those little bugs.
Yeah. Yeah, like Favi just said, it's duct tape and mods.
Yep.
Which is in line with a lot of Bethesda developed and published games.
They tried. They're
They
doing
tried.
their best. They're
It
a
just
little indie
works.
company, okay? They don't have
They're little indie company Bethesda.
Yeah.
Out here making Starfield and then can't seem to have conversations that branch out depending on your answers.
Yeah.
Like 3 different responses that get the same result.
just like real life.
Never played New Vegas and don't intend to. Well, it's not. It's very good, but it requires a lot in terms of making sure you have the game optimized correctly.
And
Oh, yeah, that's
the
right, the
planets
actor-
are aligned.
Yeah, the planets are aligned. But yeah, speaking of New Vegas, the actor that played, I don't even want to say an antagonist, like villain or antagonist, but one of the major companions that you can recruit, he sadly passed away, I think, a week or 2 ago.
Oh.
So rest in peace to the actor for Benny.
R.I.P. Benny. You were too good
Yeah.
and too pure for this world. Also, another point that I'm getting from this, because Jack has said that this is like the games of his childhood, right? I find that a lot of people and their gaming ability is kind of dictated by what games you grew up playing, right? I feel
Right.
like Jack should have, I'm not saying this is guaranteed, but I feel like he's probably like good with mechanical games in the sense of like aiming, shooting, like games that
Yeah.
require reaction times and things like that, because
A
I'm
lot of-
terrible at them.
Yeah, a lot of like fast reaction things, like for instance Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 being on here, because that's a very chaotic game, or it can get chaotic
True.
in a second. So that can be indicative of that, alongside with all of the multiplayer modes across the different Call of Duties.
Yep.
And I don't know anything about Hearts of Iron, but I'm gonna assume maybe the same there. Uh, and that also can be said about Beat Saber because
Yeah.
Beat Saber, depending on the difficulty mode, also requires some fast reflexes.
Absolutely. And I mean, the only games actually I've really played on here aside from Minecraft is the Left 4 Dead games, and that is just chaos. Chaos at the best of times. In fact, I still blame Frosty Seraphim for one time him and a couple of our other mutual friends and I were playing it, and he got downed, and then I went back for him, and then I got downed, and then our other friends abandoned us. So,
Oh.
yep, I was just like, you bastards, we are right here. Just come down the little roller coaster and get us, you little shit.
Sync with the ship, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, friendship ended with other friends.
Friendship ended with other friends. Am I the asshole for stopping my friendships because they left me behind and Left 4 Dead 2?
Absolutely not.
Let's just add that to the Am I the asshole subreddit.
I feel like I've seen something similar, surely.
Yeah.
But-
That feels like it'd be on there.
But also, Jack, how much like historical knowledge have you managed to pick up from playing Assassin's Creed? Because I've heard plenty of stories of people actually knowing like historical facts or, you know, a bit of like ancient history from playing those games. That's what I want to know.
It's weird. Assassin's Creed in some points actually has better represented aspects of history better than most other media. Like for Black Flag, for instance, your hub in that is like a colony town that in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies is depicted to be like, oh, it's all posh because it's like where we put ourselves here in this area of the world. But that's not the case in real history. How life started itself. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I imagine most of the time was spent trying to collect those short videos that had the two characters that I guess were meant to be Adam and Eve doing parkour, which would probably have made learning the Bible way more interesting if we got like Rage Against the Machine music videos of Adam and Eve doing parkour in construction yards.
If
I'd
that
be more
is
interested in Bibles in that case.
100%, if that's what they were showing at church, I would be a nun. Call me Sister
Yeah.
Lilith, because I would 100% be there for every Sunday service.
I'm Adam from Adam and Eve, and I can do a quadruple backflip.
That would be like it's just the Bible, but jackass.
Latte origins from Italy.
Yeah.
I
Latte
remember
means
a
milk.
scene. I remember hearing like Ezio try a coffee once, but I have not played an Assassin's Creed game in many years, and two especially I haven't played in even longer. The last one that I played I think it was Black Flag, or no, it was Syndicate, the one that takes place in the UK.
Ah, fancy.
Yeah, it totally fancy, and I just got really bored in the middle of it.
Ubisoft made a story about two world orders fighting about ageless alien tank boring with 20 games. Man, that's disappointing.
Yeah, once the Ezio stuff stopped, it just feels like they've been trying their best to keep going on it, and it's just not working.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, with that particular premise, there's both a lot you can do with it, and also not a whole lot without really changing the core of the game. After a while, I imagine it would be really difficult to kind of keep the franchise fresh.
Yeah, unless they like go out there with a setting, or shocker, if they drop the Desmond Brain stuff, or just don't have the ancient tech storyline thing in line. But yeah, the RPG element stuff that Jack's mentioning, the thing is that it's not even just the fact that the series already had stagnated long before they introduced the live service stuff or the RPG elements. It's the addition of the RPG element stuff that's just like, oh no, our series that we have been working on for a long time is kind of drained of all of its capability, and it's now kind of crawling around on the ground. What do we do to help prop it up back into motion? Give it some time. Give it some time for the writers to develop an interesting story that could really revitalize it and maybe go back to basics to some extent.
That'd
No,
be
we'll
silly.
just put some crutches on it, then tell it to do a full sprint.
Yeah. They never did it.
Perfected.
That's so frustrating though when a game franchise like perfects something. You're like, yes, this is good. Everyone agrees that this part is good, and then they try and change it for the next installment, but add some other random mechanic because they're like, oh, this will make it feel fresh, and it's like, keep the best parts of the previous games, put all of those together into a new game in a way that feels good and cohesive, and we will throw our money at you. That's all we want. That's all we want,
Exactly.
man.
Exactly. We are gamers can be simple,
Yes.
and also maybe don't charge $70.
Yeah.
Which I think is like over 100 in Australian bucks.
Oh, brand new games nowadays easily about $120,
Jesus Christ.
which is extra bullshit because you could kind of understand when they were like, oh yeah, we have to physically import discs and we have to transport it over and the economy and fees, blah 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 blah. Sure, whatever. But when it's like digital downloads where there's absolutely nothing of the sort involved in the process, a brand new game should not still cost, $100 to $120. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
This is half the reason when people are like, oh my god, have you played this brand new game that came out? And I'm like, no.
Yeah. Like, have you tried Tears of the Kingdom yet? It's $70 US. Have you tried Tears of the Kingdom yet?
I would love to, but I don't have Tears of the Kingdom money. We got Tears of the Kingdom at home, and it's me playing Breath of the Wild while crying.
Yeah, it's the slow burn Breath of the Wild effect. So, I guess with everything on this list,
Yep.
I'd say it's a good list.
Yep.
Red Dead Redemption 2, I've been so curious about trying that and Red Dead 1. Been hearing so much.
Yeah.
So someday in the future. But I do like this list. It's good.
What I'm doing as well as like a little aside is I think I'm going to assign everyone an ice cream flavor based on this, because it's all well and good to say, yeah, I approve, but it's like, what is it giving, So for me personally, my thoughts here are that you've got a lot of like solid staples of like well-established franchises that, as I said before, are kind of arguably like standouts in their own right, even outside of their franchises. So I feel like the flavor profile of this is something like solid and classic, like a vanilla or a chocolate or a strawberry, but elevated. So it's like vanilla with real vanilla bean, or it's like a strawberry with real strawberry pieces. So it's, it's like, yeah, it's a simple flavor potentially, but there's just so much extra depth and like flavor in it.
Yeah, doesn't taste artificial in any way.
Oh yeah, she's using the real Madagascan vanilla beans and like, super super fancy hand-picked strawberry compote and just delicious. Vanilla
you have
plus.
that ice cream. You have that ice cream and you feel good having it, but then you see the bill and then you get sad.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, "Oh, that's a bit spency, but it's worth it." If I don't get my favorite flavor, I'm going to riot. I don't remember what your favorite flavor is, so this is all up to luck now. Let's go.
Total RNG chance. Better hope you had good gotcha pulls to inform your luck for the day.
Have you got pity? Have you got Lilith soft pity?
Did you get your pity pulls today?
Speaking of pity pulls, next one.
Okay. First off, you have Signalis on your list, which I say is based as fuck. Signalis is great. Like, it's genuinely really good.
What kind of game is it?
It's a survival horror game that takes place in a dystopian sort of future where it's androids trying to gather resources from the surrounding planets of the solar system. And as Frosty pointed out, survival horror lesbians where the lesbians are also androids.
Okay, I'm here for this.
It is very it's not even just that it's well good, it's a passion project from most two devs and a composer that took 8 years to make.
Oh, that's sexy. Also, Jack, you're totally fine. You can lurk if you want, or you can participate. You're not being obnoxious or anything, even if you are
Yeah,
drunk.
you're fine.
You're
You're
just
fine.
vibing.
So long as everything's within the span of the rules, you're good.
Exactly. And if you get too rowdy, I'm gonna put you in timeout.
Yeah.
You can sit in the corner
Yeah.
and think about what you've done.
Put you to bed with a glass of water to be like, now think about now try to get sobered up to think a little more.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But also, I'm here for robot lesbians. That's always a selling point for me.
And it's just a solidly designed game. And they recently added a feature to it that helps out the inventory space, because that was a common complaint for a lot of people. And then and because that was the only real complaint from a lot of people, they just threw up their hands and are like, all right, there you go. It's a literal perfect survival horror.
I honestly love that, where it's like, this is the only complaint. Oh, now it's fixed. So, yeah, I guess it's a 10 out of 10. It's perfect.
Yeah. So you're based for that. And I also see Baldur's Gate 3 on here. Lilith and I were actually just talking about Baldur's Gate earlier. And I mentioned to you that it had won a number of awards recently.
Yes.
And a particular actor by the name of Neil, who plays the vampire party member you get, he had done a speech that talked about how people had identified their own stories in life with Astarian's story. I'm not going to spoil what it is for you in particular. And it's just really sweet. And the fact that he himself identified a lot with Astarian's story regarding past trauma, which
I've
is
seen
really
a
special.
lot on TikTok, like little bits and pieces, especially of like the actors, Neil especially, getting to just be a little bit silly behind the scenes. And that's half of the thing that sold me on it, truthfully, is like it's got such a like really nice kind of positive fandom behind it. Because as much as I love to be able to separate like the item of fiction from its fandom, sometimes a fandom can ruin me on things if they're just, you know, it's full of toxicity and fighting, and yeah, we've all seen those sorts of fandoms.
Or the opposite end of the spectrum, where you're trying to try something that is overwhelmingly loved and is very beloved in many different ways, and the fan base is like unable to fucking contain themselves when someone gets into it for the first time.
That's
Like,
also off-putting.
That's yeah. Sometimes like super fans can be just as off-putting to a piece of media as haters are.
Yep.
I've experienced this a lot. Like I remember trying Signalis, and I had to make sure spoilers were kept to a minimum, but I could tell.
Yep.
And that's happened with Hades. That's happened with Inscription. It's just the curse of being as beloved as a piece of media is, where your super fans are gonna be pretty big detractors. So,
Spoilers will
man,
literally ruin my day if it's for something that I'm really invested in.
yeah,
Like I'll genuinely have a terrible day because something's spoiled for me.
it's never fun.
No. And for me as well, I have like that demand avoidance in my personality, where if someone comes to me and says, oh my god, you have to play this game, you have to play it, you're gonna love it, it's so good, you have to play it, I kind of become less wanting to play it.
Thank you for saying the term. I've been trying to remember that term to describe it for so long.
Demand avoidance.
I had that with Chrono Trigger.
And
So
if
I whole understand completely.
And it's like, if someone comes to me and is like, you'll like this because it's got ABC, themes and stuff that you historically like, it doesn't trigger it as bad. But if someone's like, oh my god, you have to play this game because everyone loves it, suddenly I'm like, I don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah.
When it manifested so much when I was in high school as that I'm not like other girls thing, where like something would be really popular and I'm like, oh really? Well, I haven't watched it. I haven't played that game because everyone else likes it. So
Interesting because I didn't do it.
I should play Ultra Kill. You should shut up.
Actually, speaking of Ultra Kill, I hear that one's really good too.
I've
So
heard.
I've seen that played. I've seen people get thirsty, like you like your pathetic guys, and there's definitely a guy
I
in there that
do.
is pathetic and is one of the bosses.
Funnily enough, though, this particular game has suffered from a super fan, with me specifically being like, "You should play it," and I'm like, "No, that's not really my kind of style of game. I don't think." And they just didn't quite get it. They're like, "No, no, but look at this. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it." And I'm like, yeah. Now I'm never gonna play it. Never.
Yeah.
Oh, me.
Also, biggest man, thank you for the bit. You.
Biggest man, I haven't seen you in so long. How you doing, my love? Are you still the biggest and the man? That's what I want to know.
That is the true question.
Exactly. Also, just a lot of sci-fi, like,
Yeah, a lot of
fantasy
sci-fi.
epics on here. You know what I am surprised about, though, Frosty? No Toho.
Oh.
Frosty for me, like, has, like, in the past been really into Toho, which for me is just like, I don't know, I associate Toho with Frosty, so I was genuinely surprised to not see that on here. I thought that was going to be like a given.
Oh, did we just cause Frosty to have like a lapse? Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. Well, let's just imagine that it's there. It's
replace I don't know what to put in this. We'll just staple it onto the side.
No.
Just print out a piece of paper and staple it.
Get your phone, look at it at like a flat angle and squint, and it's actually like an optical illusion where the other covers actually make the Toho cover.
Yeah. It's like that thing where it's like, hey, rapidly move your phone from side to side, and you'll see Toho. You'll just blur Toho into place like the fucking Flash.
Now I'm imagining Barry Allen in a like maid's dress.
Batman, you don't understand. I have to play Toho in the cosplay in order to beat Mr. Freeze.
I'd watch that special. I'd watch that TV
Actually,
special.
that'd be more of a Wally West thing to do.
He would do that.
So you mentioned earlier sci-fi stuff, so I am seeing that too with Crisis, Dead Space. Valhalla is a good one to have on there. That's
RimWorld.
Like, I've yet to play that, but I hear great things about it.
Yep.
Devil May Cry 5, your base, Devil Trigger pulled.
Classics.
I hear a lot of good things about RimWorld.
I think I have it, but I haven't started playing it.
RimWorld is I've seen a lot of funny things happen in it. Like people giving a smoke weed to a duck. Smokeleaf not even, if you know Smokeleaf not even once, congratulations, you're a real one.
Favorite game list, but no Monster Hunter. I think there is. I think someone has Monster Hunter on here, so don't worry. There will be Monster Hunter eventually, I believe.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say Frosty, you got a good list here.
Yeah.
Very diverse.
I feel like these are solid in terms of flavor profile. I'm feeling, with the space, adventure, something a little more exotic, unusual. I feel like it's gonna be
industrial.
Yeah, it's gonna be something like Yuzu, I think, where it's just like a little bit exotic, not super common, but like once you start to eat it, you go, oh, like this is citrusy. It's kind of lemon adjacent. It's, it's familiar. It's home, but at the same time, it's like so different and otherworldly.
Yeah, with the occasional bit of like interesting stuff thrown in that's different from it. Like, I see Darkest Dungeon there, which is definitely not sci-fi.
No. And that's why it's like it's close to home sometimes, but in other bites it feels really alien.
Yeah. Maybe paired with like a nice they're called, wait, would they be called biscuits in Australia?
Like cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can say either. Cookies has become more worldly, like more universally used in maybe like the last 10-15 years, but if you say biscuit, people will still understand it to mean cookie.
Okay.
Because
I've
what
gotta
Americans
readjust my...
Yeah, what Americans call biscuits, we call scones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to readjust my brain a little bit. I got to stop thinking in cheeseburger units.
You have to translate into kangaroo for me.
Yeah, I have to translate into koala.
Yeah. Chlamydia. Also, Favi, what did you forget? I'm going to judge you harshly. I feel like if it's something really obvious, I am going to point and laugh.
Yes, my PNG isn't capable of pointing, but I'll be pointing at my screen in spirit.
You'll feel it. You'll feel it. All right.
You will feel it.
Moving on to the next one, Neppy. I was excited to do this one because it's a lot more colorful.
Yeah, Mega Man ZX. Okay. Hades, that's based. Mm-hmm. Skullgirls, Gary's Mod. Link Between Worlds. Ooh. Ooh. All right, I see you. Metal Gear Rising, Civ 6.
Solid.
All right.
Genshin.
Yeah.
I feel that. Also, I feel have the last 3 all had Fallout New Vegas on there?
Yeah, it's
I think
very
they have.
beloved.
Hang on.
It's very beloved.
New Vegas. New
If
Vegas.
only it functioned.
We need like a Fallout
If
New
only-
Vegas counter.
Yeah. Take a shot every time something has Fallout New Vegas on it. You most likely will forget that you are a human being by the end of it.
Yeah.
You may devolve into a fish.
That's fine. I'm okay being a fish. As long as I'm one of those like really pretty colored ones with no brain.
Yeah. Just have pretty colors and then not ever have to worry about rent for the rest of your life. Just worry about sharks
That's
and
all
larger fish.
That's just what being Australian is like. That's
So
it.
to answer your question, Frosty, I prefer Johnny Guitar. I like the sound of that more than Jingle Jangle.
I don't have an opinion because I don't know what we're talking about.
It's like those are both songs that can play on the radio, like the in-game music radio for Fallout New Vegas.
Gotcha. I like
Yeah, Armored Cores.
trains.
just simple like I have my simple train thoughts. You all talk about your jingle jangle stuff. I'm just gonna sit here playing Jeopardy.
I'm just gonna sit here thinking about trains. Trains.
The true transportation system that the rest of the world deserves.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, Civ 6, very good. I don't think I put a Civ on there, but I have played a lot of Civ 5. That said, my knowledge of how the game works versus how many hours I've played it are very at odds. Like, I genuinely don't really know what's going on. What I just want to do is, like, build little cities and then, like, make my little towns. I don't even like the combat or anything else like that. I'm like, I just want everyone to fuck off and let me build my little, like, opera house and shit.
I tried one RTS, and I've realized now that RTS is in the style of Civ, or it was the one that I tried was Divinity Dragon Commander.
Yep.
And that kind of thing, like, I cannot tell you how unintuitive it felt playing that game as somebody that never played an RTS before.
Yep.
It was like, I have very rarely in my time playing video games have I ever felt the video game equivalent of being thrown into the deep end and being told to swim.
Yep.
That was one.
RTSs are one of those things that's, like, very difficult, like, steep learning curve. But once you're there, like, that's where the fun happens. But I find that that's where everything falls over for me because I've got no idea what's happening away.
Yeah.
But
But
I think
otherwise, I definitely love everything else on this list. You've got Lost Ruins. I've had that on my wish list for a while, and I thought about playing it because I love Metroidvanias.
See, now you can, like, compare notes and be like, should I buy this? Is it that good?
Yeah.
Also, just
So
the duality of, like, the top, like, left corner being really, like, mecha, you know, combat, platformy, and then, like, you've got the bottom right is kind of like anime, beautiful, whimsical, pretty colors. It feels like this is like very, very divided, very split, but in a way that feels
Yeah.
harmonious still.
Yeah. It's got a nice cohesiveness to it.
Also, I love that Gary's mod is on there, just because
Yeah, that's the interesting entry right there.
it's like I guess, but I don't know. Would it be considered a game?
It's a piece of software, so technically yes.
Yeah,
I'd say so. I mean, you can make game modes in it. A lot of people have.
yeah. I feel like there's a story there. I feel like there's, tales to be told of shenanigans being crafted and conducted in there.
Yeah.
But also, I'm gonna fully support the Breath of the Wild Genshin Impact zone here.
I'll support the Hades, the Metal Gear Rising, the Link Between Worlds one. If you have a 3DS, get Link Between Worlds. You owe that much to yourself. Also, hello, Prowling Magus and Otter Pirate. Hope you're doing
Hello.
well. We're judging people's game tastes.
We are. I think both of them are on the list upcoming, so don't worry, you haven't missed it.
Yeah.
In terms of an ice cream flavor, I feel like this is going to be, and come with me here on trying to articulate this. You've got kind of like a really dark, sort of serious, solid games in this top left corner. So that's going to be something like a chocolate or like a cherry or something with sort of like a deeper, darker flavor. But you've got like sprinkles on top, like little whipped cream, cherries, like there's little sprinkly decorations that sort of bring levity and like a kind of fun, whimsical, childlike joy to the whole thing.
So kind of like a peanut butter brownie kind of ice cream, or
I mean,
because I was thinking like a funfetti thing,
yeah, no, you
like
could,
like ice cream cake kind of like ice
Yes.
cream cake kind of birthday cake kind of ice cream.
yeah,
Wow, that's hard to try and say back to back. That's wow.
birthday cake ice cream.
Black Forest. That's a good way to put it, Frosty.
Black Forest is a good idea. Yes, it's kind of like a very deep, dark, sort of mysterious flavor, but then it's kind of cute and fun on top. Like it had to be.
A Johnny Guitar kind of flavor.
Do not put guitars in ice cream. That does not enhance the flavor.
No, a guitar ice cream in your guitar will not be able to help you play Wonderwall.
It won't. Can confirm.
At most you'll probably end up getting like, oh God, what's a god awful guitar song? I can't think of anything worse than Wonderwall.
Yeah. The one from the Barbie movie, the fucking Matchbox 20 song.
I don't know Matchbox 20, and I don't know.
I can't remember the name of
movie.
the song. You need to see the Barbie movie.
I hear a lot about it. But
We'll
yes,
do a movie
Otter,
night sometime.
Black Forest. There is a ham. There's also
is.
a cake, and there's also an ice cream. Black Forest is a very diverse a genre of food types somehow.
Black Forest cake / ice cream is like chocolate cake with cherries and like whipped cream, basically. So it's very rich, but you've got like this really sort of dark, heavy chocolate cake, and then the tart sweetness of the cherries kind of cuts through it. So a really well made one balances out really nicely.
Yeah.
How bad were the first 19 Matchboxes?
Yeah. How bad were they? Like with the Blink Blink 182. How bad were the other Blink Blinks?
The
how
first
many iterations
181.
How bad were the drafts of the first 181?
Oh, that's stupid.
How bad were the other 40 sums of Sum 41?
Is it the sum of 41, or is it the 41st sum that they completed? We'll never know.
They're very bad at math.
I'm very, very bad at making matchboxes. This is why they should stick to music, not matchboxes.
Yeah.
Silly. All right, that's my flip. Black Forest, I think, is a good
Yeah.
choice. Moving on.
That's a good one. So here we have bar.
Mm-hmm.
I see Luigi's Mansion 1. Yes. I see Ocarina of Time. Yes. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Yes.
Fallout New Vegas again. Let's go.
Fallout New Vegas again. Take a shot.
I'm writing notes for timestamps, and I'm literally now just writing a New Vegas counter.
Both the remake and original Resident Evil 4s.
Yeah.
I can respect that. I've
it's
played
like
both. I totally understand.
the classic, but then also, the new and improved.
Yes, and Resident Evil 4 Remake's got some pretty nice improvements. Being able to parry chainsaws is pretty fucking cool.
That sounds pretty sick, actually. My standouts here are Kingdom Hearts, of course, Kingdom Hearts 2 specifically, which
Yes, I
respect.
agree.
And Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood, which was a good expansion. I do agree with that.
Alongside the fact that I sent you that funny meme about the main villain going like, "Do you want to hear me pee?"
Honestly, I'm pretty sure that scene was in the game. That was just ripped straight from Final Fantasy XIV itself.
Yup. Also, yes, Frosty, I did see, in fact, that there is a Signalis mod for Resident Evil 4 that replaces Leon with the main character of Signalis.
I want to play
And
it
I
with the
think that-
mods that make Leon dressed really slutty. That's
You
what I
and
want.
every single person I've ever seen play the game. Literally all.
I want the one where he's just really baby girl and has like
People
a thong.
People love to put him in kitty outfits and midriff stuff.
It's because
And I'm
he's-
like, wow.
it's because he's baby girl. He's just like he's very easy to make into that particular flavor. Tramp Stamp Leon, yes. It's the only way you'll ever get me to play a Resident Evil game is if someone comes along, mods it for me so that I can play it with stupid sexy Leon.
Oh god, now you got me picturing Leon in like the full Snow Gear Flanders meme where he's going, "It's like I'm wearing nothing at all," and Homer's like stupid sexy Flanders.
Yeah, that's exactly the feeling that I want to have in my Resident Evil experience. Womb tattoo Leon, here for it. Booty shorts, yeah. Crop top, absolutely. Delicious.
So, with everything else, I say this is also another very solid list. Pokemon Platinum 2. Got Tekken and Street Fighter Alpha 3 for some curveballs alongside Marvel vs. Capcom.
Which I think is like, I love lists like this where you're like, okay, I'm getting a picture, Fallout New Vegas, sure, Bloodborne, Devil May Cry, Resident Evil, yep, even like Borderlands, all that makes sense. But then just like Sonic Mania.
Super Mario Sunshine. And by the way, if you like Bloodborne, try Lies of P. It's so good.
Lies
it's
of
basically
P?
another Bloodborne.
P?
Yes, Lies of P, as in Pinocchio.
You're peeing?
Yes, we pee, and the bosses pee on us.
Oh my god. It's one of those games. Smash.
But no joke, like, Lies of P is genuinely one of the best games coming out this year.
Is it?
So if
Is
you're a
it?
Bloodborne,
Okay.
yes. If you're a Bloodborne fan, you play Lies of P. I believe the demo's still out, so you can try that. So there's my shill for Lies of P, my daily shill.
Stop saying Lies of P.
Yeah, it's memorable, Part of marketing is coming up with something memorable for a name.
That people are gonna enjoy memeing. Also, oh my
Yeah.
god, hi Ari. How you doing?
Hello, Ari.
Welcome to our judgment of people's tastes. Also, Luigi's Mansion is definitely a game that I finished.
It's a very good one. I have fond memories of repeatedly beating that game, and I wish the other ghosts besides King Boo were available as like I don't know, stickers or something from Nintendo. I don't know.
And I mean,
And
it would be super embarrassing if you were like 16 years old and found that it was too scary to finish. That'd be mortifying. Luckily, I don't know anyone who that applies
Lilith,
to.
Lilith, I played that when I was like 11.
That's good.
I would
I
play
mean,
that
yeah.
16.
Mm. Well,
Oh,
I'm not saying it was
genuinely
me.
stunned.
I'm not saying it was me. I'm really brave and known for playing very scary games. Yep. That's what they call me on the streets, Lilith the Brave.
I did not have enough chicken tikka masala to handle that level.
Delicious. But yeah, no, it'd be super embarrassing if it was a game that was too scary for you to finish.
Someday we'll get you to play it on stream.
I might be okay now. I don't know. Maybe I'll still cry. Scary.
Oh.
I can't do scary things. I'm not built
Then
for
there's
them.
then I guess no Signalis for you, because like I wouldn't say Signalis is super scary like jump scare wise. It's more like creeping dread.
That's worse.
But
That's
then
so
yeah,
much
no Signalis for you. No lesbian androids for you then.
existential, like unsettling horror is arguably like affects me more than just a jump scare. Like, it's a jump scare, I'll get jump scared and I'll just be like, fuck you, actually. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But like creepy, unsettling, my imagination is too active for that, and for like the next week I'll be like just feeling my skin crawl like there's monsters under the bed. Even though like
Right.
rationally I'm like that's not true, but I'm just like, my nervous system is now severely dysregulated. I finished it when I was 9. Yeah, well, I definitely finished it. It was so good. I love the part where
My little brother beat it more times than I have, and he's like 2 years younger than me.
stop, she's already down.
We're just dunking on the fucking Lilith horse here.
Stop, she's already dead.
Well, whilst Lilith is recovering from being dead, I do appreciate a lot of the choices here. For Borderlands and Borderlands 2, I remember trying Borderlands 1, but I just didn't get into it because I found it kind of... I don't know, I felt like there wasn't really a through line that I could follow, but Borderlands 2 more so. And then you've got Devil May Cry 4, that's an interesting pick. I see indeed we've got another solid selection of games to choose. Nothing that is nothing bad here at all.
Nothing that I
In fact, for
particularly disagree with.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is even getting a nice revitalization for like, I think a big official mod is adding a whole lot of other characters, some of which you probably would never expect to even see the day of light again. So
Love that.
and it's even got featured at Evo.
Nice.
So
In terms
awesome.
in terms of a flavor profile, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's going to be one of those like cookie dough ice creams that have like little pockets, like little nuggets of surprise, like texture and crunch and flavor, and like a little
I was thinking the same thing.
because it's just like, okay, you think like, all right, it's just going to be this, Fallout, Bloodborne, Resident Evil, Metal Gear kind of like profile, but then you get just those little like Zelda, Luigi's Mansion, Sonic, like your Marvel vs. Capcom are just like these little pockets of like surprise and delight.
Yeah, little pockets of sweet.
Yeah, just like a little like texture change to really shift it up. So I think cookie
And not the
dough.
bad kind of texture change like water chestnut.
No, not an unexpectedly bad texture. Unexpected, but pleasant.
Yes.
Moving on to our next one, we have Blair, which is a lot more colourful than some of our previous offerings.
Okay, Sonic 2. All right. Some Sonic entries, Saints Row, Animal Crossing.
I love the
Actually,
inclusion
Blair-
of Nintendogs here. I think that is beautiful.
That is cute.
Yeah.
That is very cute. Pokemon Gen 5.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Fire
I
Emblem
see. Yes.
Fates is an interesting one to put on here too.
Fates isn't. For Fire Emblems, that would not be my choice.
Yeah.
More so because Fates in particular marked a bit of a shift in Fire Emblem that I personally wasn't the biggest fan of.
Yep.
Not to say that Fates is bad.
Yep.
Like it's just it marked a particular shift in what Nintendo wanted to do with Fire Emblem that not everybody in the fan base was the happiest about, but it still had its good points. And you know what? You picked Birthright, which of the Fates entries is the better of the three.
I've never played them because I got really shitty about a few of the things leading up to the game's release. But mainly, I can't remember exactly, but I think I had a lot of issues with some of the translations of the characters.
Yeah.
That like really ticked me off to the point where I'm like, nah, I don't want to play it.
That's totally understandable. That was something I remember one of my best friends told me about. It was in particular, it was a support between two units that you could have in Fates that were two assassins, and they were talking about the work that they did with each other as like their first conversation. But because they didn't want to translate that, they just had them have ellipses with each other, which I kind of thought was funny at the time. But after learning about that, I was like, wow, that's shit.
And there was,
That's
I think,
a crock of shit.
there was one particular character who was very like tough girl, but also very feminine. And then they just like changed a lot of it. I think she was very like non-binary or gender or something. And they decided like, oh no, we're just going to make her this kind of really flat 2D stereotype. And it was like disappointing.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot. Okay,
I mean,
I was going to say, sorry.
You're good.
I am seeing a lot of like really controversial options here, which I'm really loving because it's like, I love that that's your favorite. You know what I mean? It's like how in Pokemon, for example, every Pokemon is someone's favorite. Even if they're just like really weird and obscure.
Yeah.
Like Sonic and the Secret Rings may not be everyone's favorite, but it's one of yours. And I think that's amazing.
One of my best buddies is a Sonic fan, and I'm confident if I showed him this and he sees Sonic and the Secret Rings dead center on the board, I will probably expect a paragraph or 5 in reply.
But I think that this is also really cute because I also think that you can kind of tell the age demographic of the people who fill these out based on which Pokemon games appear on there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like seeing it's like Gens 5 through 8.
Yep.
Well, no, actually no, more through Gen 9 because we've got Scarlet on there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's some real wild cards here.
Yeah.
In terms of the favorites amounts here, like Attack on Titan 2 video game.
I've never played it and I've never heard anyone talk about it. So now I want to know, Blair, what is it? What makes it so good? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Warrants extra conversation, and I'm really here for it. Same with like The Sims 4, you know, like Among Us. But I feel like Among Us I feel like that could be a really good pick because for me, what that says is like, you know, Among Us being a comfort game of like maybe watching streamers play it or good times playing it with friends, you know, getting to share in those really solid, fun memories. Because Among Us as a game is not particularly like anything super crazy and different. What it is,
Unless
it's about
you play the fighting game of it.
There's a fighting game of Among Us?
Somebody made an actually legitimately good fighting game based off of Among Us. I am not kidding.
Now I want to play that.
Isn't that fucking bonkers?
That is absolutely... I've never even heard of that. But you know what? I've seen weirder things get turned into fighting games, so... I'm here for it. Neppy's right. This is giving Neapolitan, where it's like... really distinct different flavors all at once,
Yeah,
but still kind of harmonious. Like, they're all super unique and different and not at all connected in almost a flavor profile wise, but you're like, that works.
Yeah, it's a mix you wouldn't think works, but somehow does. Like Notorious B.I.G. with the Thomas the Tank Engine theme, or
Yes.
blueberry preserves on a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yes, very that. Also, good luck at D&D. I hope you get all the 20s. Kick
Yes,
ass, take names.
roll nothing but luck and seduce all the dragons.
Exactly. But no, I agree. It's a Neapolitan, but not a traditional Neapolitan where you've got like the chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. I think it's going to be one of those crazy ones that's like banana, caramel, and choc chip or something.
Oh, wait, that actually sounds really good.
That does, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's a little too harmonious.
That might, that
Actually-
might be a little too much.
You know what it is? It's a ice cream flavor I got the other day where one side was, I think, passion fruit and the other side was like raspberry and meringue. And it was it kind of like didn't work together but did. You know what I mean? Like, it was fresh, it was fruity, it was sweet, but it was kind of like it was still, you could taste each individual flavor really distinctly.
Wow, that is not a that is not a flavor combination I could have ever thought of.
But it was good.
It's really, God, much like pharmaceuticals, you never really understand how people figure out certain combinations work with each other.
You just gotta lick enough mushrooms until you figure out what they do.
What doesn't make you pass out or croak on the spot probably will work.
I always love when they do things where it's like, yeah, we were studying this drug to see if it would cure pattern baldness and found out that it actually stops your hands falling off. Like when they just completely different thing and they have to pivot into that.
We thought this could help cure jungle rot, but no, it's good for sinus infections.
Yeah. Or when it goes the other way and it goes terribly, like, yeah, we gave all of these women this drug to help cure morning sickness and now all their babies are really messed up. Whoopsie.
Yep.
How bad?
I tried to take this medicine to help with morning sickness, but then when my baby was born, he started playing League of Legends out of nowhere.
Sad. I actually think League of Legends appears on someone's tier list.
Note that any jokes me or Lilith made are all in good fun. We are all.
That is
we
a
are all-
disclaimer.
Yes.
I mean, I have played a League or a Legend or two, and I've definitely listened to too much KDA to really like sit here and shit on it with my whole pussy. You know what I mean? Just like,
I just like some of the music and then Arcane.
yeah, which I haven't watched yet, but it's on my list.
I can have a good time too, because season 2 got announced.
True. Moving on. Who have we got next?
Moving on.
Combo.
Yes, my mod and the guy that made Lilith Starting Soon music.
Which, you know,
Combo. Judging by what I know of him, he has a very interesting kind of taste in games.
Wait, there's got another one for the New Vegas telling.
Another New Vegas, tack that on.
This is really different, and I'm kind of feeling this.
Yes. So, he recommends me some interesting stuff, and he really he's interested in a lot of odd stuff, like Cruelty Squad, for instance, is a very niche thing that I would not expect anybody to really pull out as a favorite. But yeah, that's a very interesting pick alongside I don't know what Hypnospace Outlaw is.
I was gonna say there's a bunch on here that I'm like, I've literally never heard of this, which I feel like is very combo core, like the enigma of it all.
Yeah, very another real wild card of a certain amount of entries.
Yeah.
But I do like it. It's just a very interesting combination of games to throw in.
What I get from this is Combo likes really like artistic, dynamic, really kind of stylized games, I suppose, like games that have a point in the sense of like, take for example Cuphead. Their whole thing was like this hand-drawn retro animation. Like that was the thing. That was the angle. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And similarly, I feel that from a lot of these is that they have like a really solid niche.
Yeah, Let It Die, for instance, is a Suda51 game that I think was like mobile microtransactions, but it had a very interesting way of doing its gameplay and stuff that made it feel better than most of the other microtransaction games that were on the market at the time.
And Suda51's always going to be like, it's a bit weird. That's what it is. All these games, I think, or a lot of them at least, have an element of like, it's a bit weird, but not in a bad way. It's
Yeah.
like, it leans into its own weirdness.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Little Big Planet 3 you can see over there. Dragon Quest Builders 2, which is a bit of a departure from normal Dragon Quest, being, more build centric if anything.
Yeah.
And
But it's still it's a
just
game with creativity because you are being creative. Like it's your own creative output is the kind of goal of the game.
yes.
Even like Ace Attorney is like, which I'm fully here for that being on the list, but it's like it's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously because it's like, yeah, all legal proceedings need to be done in 3 days. The attorneys are the ones who gather evidence, and we're cross-examining a parrot. Like, it's ridiculous.
And they're very gay.
Oh my god, there is no heterosexual explanation for anything that happens in that game. Like, I don't even know how you could play that game and try and, like, and not see it. There's a whole, like, Edgeworth's whole speech about, like, ugh, you've, burdened me with these, like, difficult feelings or whatever. It's like, straight people don't say that to each other. To their rivals in court.
No, we just scream each other's names like it's an anime fight.
Yeah.
We just go Kaneda and Tetsuo at each other.
Absolutely. But no, I love Ace Attorney. I have a very soft spot for it, even though my problem with the game is that I know what I'm trying to say, but I can't get the game, like I can't do the right inputs on the right, statement to make the game understand what I'm trying to say. But it's like, no, there's a conflict there and I can't figure out what exact thing I need to show to prove the conflict.
Rossi just says, Edgeworth, no homo.
Favi, yeah, you say it all the time. To all the homies.
Yeah, you just scream each other's names at each other, and then boom, you're immediately rivals.
The Batman Arkham collection, I think, is also good because that's actually a game series that I have played that I really enjoyed. I was gonna say, despite being a more mechanical kind of combat-y game, but the beauty of it is that it was set up perfectly to just button mash, and then you still feel really cool and badass and like Batman and have a good time with it.
Rest in peace to Kevin Conroy, whose passing was in fact a year ago, either today or yesterday, I think.
So it's a perfectly timed round circle.
Yeah.
Dead Rising, I think, is also very like homoerotic, only because the only thing I know about Dead Rising is from a friend of mine who really ships two of the main characters. So it's just like, I know nothing except for like, oh yeah, I've seen that guy's wiener.
What?
That's all I know about Dead Rising, is that there's like, there's two characters who I don't recognize until I'm just like, oh yeah, wait, no, I've seen him banging. That's that guy. Love that guy.
It's like that'd be like the equivalent of watching Stardew Valley for 2 seconds and going into the dungeon and swiping at slimes, and it's like, oh, it's just a nice dungeon crawler game that you go in as an adventure guild thing. That's what Stardew Valley is, right?
Yeah. Dead Rising. They might be gay. I don't know. A lot of people wish they were. Seen a lot of pictures on the internet. That's all
about
I
as
know.
shocking to me as learning about the massive doujin base for Transformers, which is also on this list.
I have a friend who's really into Transformers in that particular way. I've also seen some interesting things.
The sheer amount of like odd fandom niches that are like some of the biggest proprietors there Oh, it's so strange.
I've seen Optimus Prime's Prime Optimus, if you know what I'm saying.
Optimus Prime's Optimus Peen.
Exactly. It was primed.
No, Optimus Piston. There we go.
I-
We go. That works.
You know what I love when I see art of Transformers in, you know, salacious positions when they're blushing. Like, how does that work?
How does that work?
How does that work? I understand.
That's not in Transformers Devastation. How does that work?
I understand conceptually from an artistic standpoint and, like, you know, communicating an idea why it's there. But how? What's the logistics of that? Do they just get like they've got little heaters in that area?
Is it like an LED functionality?
Yeah.
Does their blush have
soft blue light?
does their blush have RGBs?
I hope so. That'd be
RGB
good.
blush. Hey man, I just unlocked my new Twitch feature. I've implanted LEDs into my cheekbones, and now I have RGB functionality whenever I blush.
Hello, Yuta. I'm just discussing when I see art of Transformers fucking when they blush, that's really funny to me. I find that
Person who
amusing.
put "Let It Die" there. You have great taste. You can tell my mod combo. This is his list. Mm-hmm. So yes, he is in fact a based individual. I'm not really getting a read on what flavor profile to have for this.
Okay.
Like for ice cream wise.
Follow me on this. It's gonna be something because it's like a lot of this stuff is like things you haven't heard of, right? It's gonna be like, I think it's gonna be a flavor that not many people have heard of. So it's gonna be something like Kakadu plum, or like one of the really like obscure Australian flavors where you think, oh, I don't know what that is, but then you try it and you're like, oh shit, that's really good, that's really nice, like that's really creative and interesting, but at first glance you're kind of like, I don't know what I'm in for.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
So it's gonna be like an obscure Australian fruit flavor, like, or you know, Kwandong or something.
Yeah, just something that it's one of those oddball flavors that you see in the corner of the tubs of ice cream that you're like, huh, never heard of that before. And then you just sort of log it for later.
And you can't even get it at the grocery store. It's at like those, you know, artisanal food festivals that you got dragged along to by some friends. You're like, I'm gonna get some ice cream. Then you go to this place. Most of their ice cream flavors are like really interesting, weird things that you've never heard of. But then you try it and you're like, oh shit, that's really good. That's really different. I like it.
Yeah. That's a good way to put this list.
That's what I feel. So moving on to our next flavor, we have Mr. Pirate
Otter.
himself. What do we got here?
So League of Legends, I am so sorry.
Just
Twilight Princess, good pick. Prey 2017, that's a decent pick. That's got a good. That's a good one. Witcher 3, nice. I hear good things about the Cyberpunk expansion.
I hear that they've fixed a lot of the issues and it's like pretty solid now.
Yeah, I hear the game's actually functional and actually the intended experience now.
Another Dishonored. I feel like I think it was Otter who said that all other games are in random order except the first Dishonored is 100% at the top.
Okay. I remember hearing some decent stuff about Dishonored, and it looks really cool. Like, it's this steampunk stealth game where you've got a mask that lets you do magic.
That sounds really good, actually. I could definitely get into that. It's also like, again, like some really interesting kind of different things where you think like, oh yeah, okay, Dishonored, Elden Ring, Witcher, you've got these like really sort of intense like story
focused.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got like a little Pokemon Light, little Super Mario Brothers,
Even picked the most story-centric Smash Brothers game.
So what we're getting here is Otter likes a good story.
Yeah.
Otter wants to feel things. Like even Celeste, Sekiro is just like
Oh yeah, especially Celeste.
atmosphere. That's exactly it.
Atmosphere. Yeah. Yep.
Even like in Watch Dogs and BioShock, like there's so much that gets put into the world building that just existing in those worlds is part of the experience.
Yes. I could definitely say that in the case of Witcher. I want to play Cyberpunk, but there's been too many goddamn games coming out this year for me to really dedicate any time to it.
Yeah,
But-
looping back to the cost of new games at the moment, that's
Yeah.
absolutely it.
Totally agreeable.
I'm
But
trying to
yeah,
get a bit of a
Half-Life
read on
Alex.
this.
Half-Life Alex, that's an interesting pick. Mario Kart DS. Teamfight Tactics is an interesting choice. Like I hear some stuff about it, but I don't really know what it is. Like I hear it's a mobile game that you do. Like, is it a? I keep hearing it kind of mixed with League of Legends. Is it part of League of Legends, or am I misreading something?
I feel it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's using League characters or like League settings or something like that.
Okay. So it's another one of those extra properties of like something that's related to the League that's better than actual League.
Like the Ruined King, where it's just like it's League, but it's a different genre.
Yeah. Exactly.
League and
Okay. League Champs Auto Battler. Okay.
Did we do
That's what
yours?
it
But
is.
we did. But I've got a timestamp. It's okay. I can't remember what flavor I said, so I'll have to check the VOD for that. But we did enjoy a lot of your picks, I believe.
Yes.
Here, like my issue here is that despite sort of a lot of the games being kind of similar to ones that I would have played, I haven't actually played a lot of them. Like I actually haven't played a lot of Mario games, surprisingly.
Yeah, I haven't. I remember playing New Super Mario Bros. A lot and getting frustrated at some of the levels, but I do remember the propeller hat, and that made young Will pretty happy. Mario Galaxy 2, I have not played that. Smash Brawl, I spent way too many hours on.
Yep.
Played a little bit of Project M as well.
Yudo, don't
Don't feel
feel
self-conscious,
Oh my gosh,
you.
no.
Oh no. You're
Wait,
fine.
wait until you see
Everything's
mine.
fine.
There's way more questionable games on
Yeah, and then I get to dunk on her.
Yeah.
And we can all dunk on Lilith together.
Yeah, which is what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah.
On Otter's list though, another little thing that I'm getting like just a little hint of is a small amount of competitiveness. Like the Super Smash Bros, the League, like those sorts of games you don't really play, I think, unless you've got kind of a little bit of a vicious competitive streak. Like, it's all well and good to be like,
Yeah.
I just want to have fun with my friends, you know, but you don't keep coming back to those games unless you really enjoy the feeling of striking fear and suffering into your enemies.
Yeah. Like something you could go back to Mario Kart DS to feel the rush of getting the blue shell, you know.
Exactly. See? From Otter's mouth himself. That's
Yeah. So a bit of spice with the competitiveness mixed with an atmospheric main base.
I think honestly, it's not going to be so much about a flavor profile here as it is the location in which it's served. Like, this is any flavor from an ice cream bar that's kind of like a really interesting, like decorated, soft lighting. Like maybe it's even literally an ice cream bar where it's like, you know, you go with your friends kind of at a late night, have a cocktail, but you've also got like they also serve ice cream, which seems inexplicable, but somehow kind of works into making like a really cool sort of vibe. Like maybe kind of they do like an espresso martini with coffee ice cream in it or something like that. That's kind of where I'm getting with that, where there's like this mellowness, but it's still undercut with just like sharp awareness.
I was thinking kind of like a bourbon pecan type of flavor.
Yeah. I can
Like the Haagen-Dazs bourbon pecan.
It's like rum and raisin, but just like so much better. It's so much more artisanal.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Like a bourbon, and you're gonna hate how I say this. Pecan.
It's like rum raisin made with good rum.
Yeah, like actual real vintage shit, which is just like you wouldn't necessarily have to do it this way, but it really does. Like, you get what you pay for, you know. Like, this really does bring that extra lingering flavor, that extra atmosphere.
Yeah, pick the Appleton Estate over the Bacardi, and you'll feel way different.
Otter has the seal of approval on the flavor. I'm glad. Now we'll have to find your tub.
Yep.
All right, moving on. We have Ghost Pirate. I have a lot here that I agree with.
Xenosaga.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Old school RuneScape.
Final Fantasy 12 being on here for me is just like all other games don't give a shit. You win.
12 and 13.
Which I think is...
I've been seeing a weird resurgence of people really of people being like Final Fantasy 13 but good, actually.
Me too, which I think is interesting because I haven't revisited it since the first time I played it. But I know that I personally... Like, I love Lightning. That's the thing. I think Lightning is amazing as a character, but she's trapped in a terrible game. Because Final Fantasy 13 was just corridor simulator. There was absolutely no room to breathe.
I believe that is kind of the general consensus on why it's become such a what's the word? Why it's gotten such a resurgence is because people really like the characters. But I'm almost hearing not much else regarding the gameplay or the world or the story. Like, it's the characters that people are being like, no, it's yeah.
Yeah. No, it's definitely and the story conceptually, I think, like, had a lot going for it. But I did also have a lot of issues with, especially for the first kind of half of the game, it used miscommunication as a trope a lot. And that literally the biggest kind of, you know, quote unquote drama of the early thing was like, character 1 is like, oh, I'm so sad because this person died and, you know, I'll never know what their final wishes were. Character 2, oh, I'm so sad that this person died right in front of me and told me their final wish to pass on to this other person, but I'll never know who that is. And then those two characters just don't talk. Like, if at any point one of them was like, yeah, I'm really sad about this, and the other person would be like, oh shit, I actually know what their final wishes were, and I can tell you. And then everyone would be fine. But they decide to have, like, man pain about it, and it pissed me off the whole time.
Not man pain, that's the worst kind of pain.
Oh, there's so much man pain. I actually also I love the concept of the sequel, but I got really stuck in it because I'm not very smart at the best of times, and the whole thing is like conceptually really, really good. It's like timey-wimey, like you're traveling to different worlds in different time periods and like hopping back and forth, and things you do in the past will change the future to allow you to get through gates and things like that. But unless you follow it exactly how a walkthrough already had done it, walkthroughs become functionally useless though, because what I found is I'm like, all right, I need to get through this gate in this world at this time to progress the story. And I can't get through it. So they're like, oh yeah, okay, you need to go to this world. And I'm like, all right, I haven't unlocked that world. How do I unlock that world? Oh, you have to do it from this place at this time. Okay, well, I can go to that place, but not at that time. Oh, well, you have to unlock that by doing blah, blah. And it would be like, you have to keep tracing it back. And it would just be like, you didn't talk to little Timmy in World 1 at this particular time zone. So now the whole thing you never were able to unlock. It was frustrating. It was so bad.
Okay. Like it's kind of like in coding where it's like if you don't put a parentheses on this one thing, your whole functionality is gonna stop.
Exactly that. Exactly. But it had so much potential. And as
Yeah.
Ghost Prodigy said, like when it came out, I mean, I still love Lightning. I still love the idea of the game. I just don't think that the game itself, for me, it resonates. But I don't know. Maybe I'll do a replay sometime and see if maybe now that I am older and wiser, if I enjoy it more.
I mean, I'm planning on getting into more of the Final Fantasies, but I don't think 13's available on anything besides PS3 right now, right?
Is it not on Steam? I thought it might have been on Steam.
Let me fact check that real quick.
Please do. Please verify my information that I'm just freely giving out to people.
Please do not spread misinformation on the internet. Okay, no, 13 is on Steam. You are correct. You are not
Yes.
spreading misinformation on the internet.
I'm so smart. I'm clever.
Okay, so it's on there. Don't know how the port is.
Yeah.
There are some console ports that are rough. I tried to play Prince of Persia: Sands of Time on Steam, and it was like unplayable.
Yeah, that sounds rough. That said, again, coming back to the fact that 12 and 14 are on there. Chef's kiss. Love it. Monster Hunter, someone earlier was talking about how no one had said Monster Hunter yet, and I'm like, I know I saw it on here at some point. So I definitely think you've got supporters there.
World's a good choice.
That's the newer one, isn't it?
It is. It was. It came out in 2018, and after that, it's Monster Hunter Rise. And World was a lot of fun. I was very, very addicted to that when it came out. Like I was using the longsword because I'm basic like that, and I was just having a fucking great time.
And also,
It's a very fun game.
RuneScape is one of those games I love seeing like internet deep dives about. Maybe one day I think I'd love to just play it just to experience it a little bit, even though obviously it's past kind of its glory days. I think that it's such a well-known game that you can't really go without having dipped your toes in at least once.
It's well known from what I hear as like one of those games that's perfect to have on in the background while you're doing something else. Like if you're rendering a video or if you're waiting on something like a YouTube upload, it's like, well, I gotta wait on this YouTube upload. Might as well level up my campfire building.
Working on art commissions. Also, I feel like alongside a New Vegas tally, we need to have a Dishonored tally because that's made an appearance.
Dishonored's been hopping in a lot.
This is also really good for me. This is totally not me stealing your data in sense of like, what games should I play for people on stream? What does my community like to play?
Totally not taking notes on potential stream ideas.
No.
Do not pay attention to the scratching noises of pen on paper.
Just don't be silly. These are my separate notes for secret things.
And yes, also Skyrim 2, that's also hopped out a lot. I also see Dragon Age 2, which is a really... Inquisition I can understand. 2, specifically.
I only played a little bit, I think, of Dragon Age 1, so I can't really speak too much of it, but I did enjoy the bit of time that I did spend with it, so I think I'm here for it.
I played through Inquisition. I tried to play 1 on the PS3. Terrible idea. Don't ever do that. I tried it, and it was like I could not make heads or tails of the UI. That game is meant to be played on PC. Dragon Age 2 I haven't even touched, but I hear is kind of the lesser liked of the trilogy.
Yeah. I that's kind of what I'm getting from a lot of these are like well-known franchises, but less like commonly popular versions, like or installments, I suppose.
And then real dark horses of games that are like, okay, no, these are liked for people that did play them, but they are not talked about often. Like Kingdoms of Amalur. I played that like, fuck, how long ago did I play that? Oh God, what? It was like 2013 when that came out. Jesus, it's like 10 years ago. Yeah, I played that. I played that a long time ago, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the concepts. Shame they couldn't do more with, or shame it didn't get any more attention.
Yeah.
It did get a re-release.
So yeah, I think what the general flavor profile here is like dark horses almost, where it's games that are considered unpopular or like not the best in the franchise, but like genuinely do have good things going for them that don't really get the recognition they deserve.
Yeah. But we do get some good stuff in here, though, that's very well liked. We got Cyberpunk, we got Skyrim, we've got Monster Hunter World, the Ezio Collection, Deus Ex, and all that. That's, yeah.
You
And then
definitely got
classic
that
RuneScape as well.
that like fantasy flavor to it, you know, the Xenosaga, the Final Fantasy. There's like little JRPG sprinkle in there as well, which I think is worth like really helps dictate the flavor profile of what we're looking at. So I have
Yeah.
a proposal for the flavor.
Let's hear it.
I'm thinking not necessarily a traditional ice cream, but more like a daifuku, like a mochi ice cream. So
Okay.
something that's kind of like people wouldn't necessarily consider it to be ice cream, but it is like for the people who do know that it's good, they know that it's really good. So it's like a little
Yeah.
little mochi shell with like a little ice cream filling. You get like a couple of different flavors, you know, a strawberry, a bit of matcha, a bit of black sesame. So you get kind of like a little bit of everything, but it's still like, you know, it's like the dark horses. It's like understated, but like it should be more popular.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it finds its audience, and the audience themselves can become vocal enough for it to regain its popularity.
Exactly. That's what I think in terms of this particular offering.
Yeah.
Moving
That's a
on
good
to
way to put
our
it.
next one, we have my dearest
Saren.
moderator, Ms.
Okay,
Saren
so-
herself.
The Mass Effect trilogy, Saints Row 1 and 2, Disco Elysium. You just fucking threw an arrow right at me.
You've been perceived.
I have been perceived. Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Also,
okay.
not to be
Banjo-Kazooie.
not to be a read, but the thing that I said earlier about which Pokemon game appears, revealing which age demographic you're in,
Yeah, Gen 1.
rings true.
Yeah. That's, I mean, it's remembered well for a reason.
But also, yay for Final Fantasy XIV, Genshin, and Honky Choo Choo.
I have not been into, actually, fun enough, I did try Genshin Impact for maybe like a day, and I didn't really latch onto it.
That's fair. Absolutely fair. I have to put it up there as one of my favorite games because I play way too much of it. Pretty anime character adventure go brr.
Adventure and or Ito's abs.
That's the adventure, baby. What you mean? That is the
That's-
adventure. That's the whole game.
Fair enough.
Also,
But we all-
another one for our Dishonored tally. I'm
Mhm.
sensing that this is a popular game.
I did not expect to see as many Dishonored as I
Yeah.
guess it's Dishonored 1 in particular. I guess I hear 1 is usually considered the better of the duology.
Also, Prowling currently kicking themselves. You forgot Dragon Age and Mass Effect. How could you?
Doesn't that suck? Where it's like you had obvious entries
Yep.
that you have fond memories of, but you forgot about them after the fact.
I'm not gonna lie, I literally googled like popular PS2 games and stuff to like flick through the list to make sure I wasn't forgetting any that like really stood out to me. And in fact, Mass Effect I don't think I put on there, even though I really enjoyed it, because I've only played the first two games. Like I loved them, but I also felt like they didn't really define like who I was as
Yeah.
a gamer, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. All right, so we've got Recore. I remember hearing about it like a couple times. Star Fox 64, classic, good choice. Halo 1. I never played a Halo at all because I was a PlayStation and Nintendo guy.
There you go.
Far Cry 3, best of the series. And Fortnite.
Fortnite
both
is
banjo
making me
entries.
laugh.
Fortnite.
I'm so happy you're brave enough to put Fortnite on
You
there.
are, yeah, that's the word for it. That is the fucking word for it.
Literally braver than any U.S. Marine.
Oh, Frosty, if you had to pick Horror Signalis or Sad Old Man Disco Elysium, I'd have to pick Disco. Like, Disco, like, I have my thoughts on Disco that I'll save for when we get to my list.
There are thoughts and opinions to be shared.
There are thoughts, yes.
This one
And
here,
Portal 1 as well.
I'm really loving, again, like, the full trilogy of Mass Effect. The full trilogy, like, Saints Row. Like, it's kind of like when you have to put every installment of a series, or, you know, most of the installments of a series, it's like that series really is, like, the overwhelming flavor majority.
Yeah. Those are like the true standouts when a whole trilogy does it for you, not just one game out of it.
You can't just
Or
pick
when a whole
one.
Yeah, you can't they are all your children in some small way.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do like that there's a lot more levity in here. You know, there's the Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie,
Minecraft,
Zelda.
Fortnite.
I think this one's one of the ones we've had that has the most, like, light and color to it, I suppose. It's up there.
Yeah. So I would maybe say like a caramel sort of flavor.
But something kind of... Okay, I don't know if you guys have this flavor in the US, but just kind of like... It's just rainbow flavor. I think it's just a vanilla with food coloring in it, basically. But it's kind of like... All the kids like that flavor. And it sort of gets...
When you said rainbow flavor, I thought of something very different. Oh.
It's kind of like it's not particularly popular with anyone except for kids, but I think that there should still be time put towards these particular things. You know, it's classic. It's like same with Mass Effect, Saints Row. It's like these are classic sort of game series that some people would maybe overlook because they're like, oh, well, you know, I played it ages ago. I don't need to revisit it. But like maybe you should. Maybe you should revisit the Rainbow Ice Cream.
When you say rainbow ice cream, I immediately think of what we call Superman ice cream.
Tell me about Superman ice cream.
It's a mixture of flavors involving cherry, vanilla, and blue moon.
Ooh.
So it's known for being like blue, yellow, and red.
I would try that. That actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's I see it a lot, and I've never tried it. I actually didn't know what flavors were in it, but yeah, it's called Superman ice cream, and that's what I'm feeling when I see this. Is that it's a very, it's got some hominess to it, and it's got a mixture of hominess and a bit of a interesting zest, kind of like our Neapolitan thing from earlier.
Yeah, and I mean, even if we're just looking at the colors as well, you got a lot of the blue, red, and like yellow kind of dominant colors throughout. So I think that works really, really quite well with that. So I'm here for that. Some kind of like rainbow swirl flavor. It's fun. It's cute. It's like maybe gets like memed on a little for being childish, but you know what? It's good, and maybe more people should try it or revisit it.
Right.
That's what I think.
Yeah, good way to put it.
Moving on to our next one. Oh, it's your friend Jordan.
So, Jordan is the man in charge of the YouTube channel I co-host, Open Couch Gaming, and I knew I wanted to involve him in this because he is known for having some very interesting takes on games.
Yeah.
One of which, he would have an opinion about putting Final Fantasy XII as a favorite game.
So what you're saying is that Jordan and I are gonna scrap.
You two could have some sparks fly.
Because that
but I think
is my favorite.
I think you'd get along well.
Yeah, we can fist fight in a Denny's car park and then be best friends afterwards. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's how I bond with most of my friends.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some stuff that could be some interesting choices. He's got Legacy of Kain. He's got Digimon.
There's a game called Drunken Robot Pornography, which I've never heard of, which feels like a bit of a tragedy.
Battle Bears 1 Mac. What?
Yeah, this is another one where I'm like, what is half of this?
He's
What is this like anime girl? What is a hate story? Korean? Is this a dating sim? Is this a
he's a very interesting guy. And also Mega Man Zero Two, that's a good pick as well.
Skullgirls? Also very good.
Skullgirls, Revenge of Shinobi. He's also he's the big Sonic fan that I mentioned earlier.
I'm not seeing as much Sonic as I would expect for that.
Well, he's also somebody that has strong opinions about Sonic, but that's most of the Sonic fan base.
I see.
Like
So it's
he's
like-
not going to say every entry is his favorite,
Yep.
but he loves Sonic and is hypercritical of the series because of it.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like I love Sonic, so I'm more well equipped and qualified to dislike many of the entries in the franchise.
He is definitely well equipped because he owns like a
Painkiller?
massive amount. He owns so much of the fucking IDW Sonic comics. That's how knowledgeable
that.
he is.
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk has come up on like 2 or 3 other people's lists as well. So like again, this is really interesting like data collection for me, like to see where a lot of like other people in the community's like interests and tastes like overlap with mine or like overlap with each other. I think this is neat.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the amount of people have commonality with certain games in terms of being their favorites.
This one's really hard though. This one's making me think.
Yeah, he is a man that has some very interesting tastes.
Jordan,
I've narrowed it.
I appreciate you being really strong and bold in your taste in games though.
Yeah. It's definitely like there's some things on here I genuinely was not expecting. Oh man, like I knew Painkiller would be on here because he loves a good FPS.
Yep.
I recommend him FPSs all the time. Vanquish, totally, absolutely good one. A Platinum Games third-person shooter that is criminally underrated.
Every time a Sonic game comes out, things get more expensive. Look up Sonic inflation.
Look
Okay,
up Sonic inflation for more.
I'm
All
doing
right.
it on my phone right now. Beep boop beep 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 boop. Oh.
Sega has now put all of the Sonic games available on Steam for $34. Look up Sonic 34 for more.
No, don't do that.
I don't know what Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey. What is that?
It looks. I was gonna say this looks like I don't know the most about Shin Megami Tensei, but that doesn't look like what I think it looks like. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, me
what
neither.
is that?
Literally nothing I've ever seen.
What
I mean, I
is
recognize
that?
the costume as a costume you could dress up characters in Persona 5. I've never seen what this actually looks like. It's so strange.
Yeah, this is like, it's left me
Okay, it's a
feeling
DS game.
unsettled.
It's a DS game.
It's a DS game. Okay, that doesn't answer many questions at all.
Turn-based, I imagine it's sci-fi. What is the premise of this thing?
Why does he look like a little Lego man with a little Lego gun? That's what I want to know.
Follows a special task force sent by the United Nations to investigate the Schwarzwelds, a spatial distortion that appears in Antarctica and threatens to engulf the world.
Why
Okay.
S book 1 and 2 or East book 1 and 2? I don't know who that
he-
is.
He's a fan of the East series, which is a very long-running series.
And also like just things like Xenonia 3. Like personally, it's like I've kind of glanced over that a few times, but now that I'm actually coming back to it, I'm like, no, I've never heard of it. So like,
Me
but
neither.
the
Some
third
of these
one,
I've never heard of.
I appreciate, like, I'm really appreciating this one because it's really making me go like, what is this? Like, what are these titles? Like, it looks like, okay, you know what it is? These look like real games, right? But in the same way that, you know, when you're watching a movie or a TV show and they can't put like real IPs, like real licensed things in there. So they make up like fake games that are kind of close to real games. Like, you know, oh yeah, it's Call of Obligation. That's the fighting, you know, that's what this looks like. This is like, these look like fake games designed for movies that aren't actually real games.
Oh man, that's a way to put it.
Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I feel like I could get this vibe, but I've never heard of this. No one's ever spoken about it. I've never seen it on shelves. I've never seen it being streamed. I've never seen it in a magazine.
I'm gonna be blunt. Battle Bears 1 Mac looks like a Newgrounds game.
Yeah, it might be. Or a mobile game based on like angry man scowling at audience member.
I mean, definitely, I can recognize that a lot of these games are good. It's just we don't know anything about them.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like this is gonna be an ice cream flavor. Go on.
I picture this more as a sorbet.
Yes.
Like a sorbet, not an ice cream.
And it's gonna be a sorbet that's gonna be like cucumber or chili or something where you're sort of going, I don't know if I'm gonna like that. I've never heard anyone talk about that. No one really sells that flavor. But, like, you might try it and find that it's really, really good. Or it might be one of those things of, like, okay, I don't need to try that again. It's going to be no in between.
Yeah.
But it's going to be something that you're...
trough kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to be a flavor that you're just like, I didn't think they made ice cream that was that flavor. And I'm not sure that they should.
Yeah. Like also, the equivalent of jelly bean roulette.
Yes. Favi, we have not done yours yet. I believe it is coming up soon.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes. Like a cucumber sorbet. It might slap.
Yep.
It might be slap. Weird. We're not sure yet. We'd have to try it ourselves because, again, no one's talking about this. No one's going around saying, hey, my favorite flavor is this.
Yeah. It's just one of those ones that you hear it and you're like,
oh,
and you just feel the buffering sound, the buffering symbol appear on your forehead.
You're like, okay. Here we go. Moving on, we have Cryo. Again, some more lightness, some more colors.
Okay. Tales of Vesperia. Seeing Tales of entries next to Gears of War is really weird.
Lollipop Chainsaw is now one that I'm just like, I should have put that on my list too.
Remake coming out for that.
Is there?
Yes.
Oh, yes, because I can't play it because, like, I think it was on the Wii or something, and I'm like, I don't have a Wii bar anymore.
It was the PS3.
PS3, there you go. I'm like, whatever console it was on, I'm like, I don't have that console anymore. Don't be silly.
Yeah. And yeah, Time Splitters, Frosty. That's a real like blast from the past.
Did mine get its turn yet? No, Yudo, you're still coming. We have not done you yet, but you're on here.
Yeah. I'm getting pangs of like real niche nostalgia hits with an occasional new thing or an occasional like more like mainstream known thing in there, like the Gears of War 2 and 3, Tales of Vesperia and Berseria. Two of some of the better entries in the series, in my humble opinion. Also, Velvet's Best Girl.
These this like NFL Street and like NBA Street, one, never heard of them, but two, the fact that they're so stylized, I feel like would actually make a really fun, good sports game. Like, that's a sports game with flavor. I would try that because it feels like it's not just like, oh yeah, it's professional sports. Like there's some little je ne sais quoi in there.
Yeah, it's just, oh man, that is grabbed by the ghoulies there too. I haven't heard that name in a long time. This is an odd one.
No, Cryo's done well, I think, on just like, we've both gotten really excited about random entries on this. Like, oh my god, yeah, I love that game.
And then just like, and then both of us just kind of glitch out when we see NBA Street 2 and NBA Street Volume 2.
Just what is that?
Or
Why have I
NFL
never
Street.
heard of that? That sounds great.
That's this is very interesting.
And then like
I
you've got this sort of nostalgia core, but then like Gears of War, Destiny, Halo, Black Ops, Battlefield, like just to kind of like add a little bit of like grounding to these other just
Yeah.
like really crazy nostalgic hype sort of series. Like that I feel adds body to it.
yeah.
Same with the Tomb Raider game. I'm here for that. I'll allow it. Like obviously Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, I love. Fun fact, when I was saving everyone's like PNGs and JPEGs, I put them in a folder with the person's name so that I could upload them. And as I was saving this one, I was looking at Spyro and I meant to type Cryo, but I did type Spyro as the title of the image. So then when I was
Well, now
uploading them to the spreadsheet, I was like to the presentation, I was like, why did I put Spyro? Who was Spyro? Oh,
Well,
it's
now
Cryo.
Cryo just has to rename themselves to Spyro.
Yeah. Cryo the
There
dragon.
you go. It's law now. Yeah.
I'm just like reveling in this one a little bit. There's actually 2 on here that are also on mine.
Yeah. I'm just seeing some just some real interesting choices.
Asal assigned Spyro at Lilith. You don't get to decide whether or not you're a dragon. Lilith will just tell you that you are.
Pokemon Battle Revolution too. Battle Revolution's a really interesting choice.
I've never played that. Is that kind of like a Smash Bros
It's-
type game?
It's essentially kind of like Pokemon Stadium. I don't know if it had many games like Stadiums 1 and 2. I don't think it did. It was more or less like a Wii game you could use to challenge your friends and stuff with high Wii graphics with your Pokemon Diamond and Pearl teams.
Which,
It's like that.
you know, feeds into the Pokemon Platinum beside it.
Yes.
Again, I need to find out how old Cryo is because I need to see if this is still
Very-
working with my which Pokemon game is on your list dictates if you're old or not.
A big symbiosis thing, kind of like a Remora on a shark.
Battle
Battle Revolution being the Remora, by the way.
It is. How old do you think he is?
Careful about talking about ages on Twitch, by the way.
Yeah,
Just a heads up.
106.
Crash Team Racing.
That
Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Okay, CTR is a top tier choice in my. I was
Yeah.
right. I knew it. Called it. I thought that
Oh my god, Cryo's an immortal.
being platinum, being like a sort of in the middle there, that was a red herring.
Yeah,
I figured.
it was the real standout landmark Vista thing.
You can't hide from me. I know all of your secrets. Flavor profile.
This is gonna be Destiny's 1 and 2. I always hear a lot of things about Destiny 2 in particular. I remember Destiny 1 coming out and people being like, "Oh, this is so good."
Yeah.
But then like people were playing it and they realized that it was missing a lot of stuff or
Yeah.
just had some things about it that
Yeah.
people were like, "Eh."
That's kind of what, like, I didn't really play it because it's not really my cup of tea. I don't even really know exactly what genre it fits into. But the impression that I got was when it first sort of launched, a lot of the media around it was like, oh, this is not a very good game. So I think I also mentally kind of like put it in the garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did do yours, Blair, yeah.
We did. I've got a timestamp for you so I can give it to you when we upload the VOD.
Yeah.
All right, here's my proposal for flavor. I'm thinking it's something with like a ripple through it, like a Ben and Jerry's style, like a little jam ripple or a fudge ripple or something, because you've got like this really nice solid base. Like, yep, everyone can agree that those are really good games. But then you get these little little pockets of excitement that are just like, oh, this really takes me back. Like, it's just really sweet and like, you know, really strong flavor, and like, oh, I'm just getting really excited about these little bits, and I'm just looking forward to like finding these little spoonfuls that have like this extra like bit of sauce or extra bit of curd or something in there, or like, you know, a bit of caramel or something. So it's not something like that.
I'm thinking specifically rhubarb.
Ooh, I do like rhubarb. So
Like a rhubarb swirl.
I like that because for me, rhubarb is a very nostalgic flavor.
Yeah. Like a rhubarb mix ice cream.
Like a rhubarb custard kind of feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Like,
glad you like how I assign flavors.
Yeah. It's helping us sort of get trying to get a real idea of what we're working with here.
Getting to the je ne sais quoi, the little something, the real meat of it. But yeah, rhubarb custard for this one. Here we go. We got Favi. I'm
Yakuza
not
0.
I'm so not
Nice.
shocked about anything on here.
Kiwami 1 and 2, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil 4, Devil May Cry 3, nice. Silent Hills 2 and 4. Mm-hmm. But not 3.
Why not 3, Favi?
And Dark Souls 2 is wow. Talk about dark horse entries that are not considered the best for people. Wow.
Oh yeah, also he insisted that I put in the title. On this one, it is titled Favi's Correct Taste.
Well, I'm seeing taste.
Dark Souls 2 is goated, that's what's up. With 3 exclamation points. I think you've got a fan.
Driver, Gran Turismo, so some driving games.
Lots of driving
Silent Hill
games.
Downpour. Mm-hmm. Alan Wake and Ninja Gaiden. This is a
I feel like the Ninja
Okay.
Gaiden, especially because there's so many, like, there's multiple entries of that, and that's his husband, so that like has extra emphasis on it.
Then we've got Metal Gear Rising at the bottom.
And
God of
Solid 3.
War and all. Yeah. I'm definitely getting vibes of like immediate like impact shock kind of energy out of this. Like something that's electrifying.
In your face.
Yes.
Like, these are not subtle games. They're also, like, I don't think there's a single game on here that a regular person would be like, oh man, I just really want to, like, relax a little bit and unwind and just, like, no pressure, just chill out, play a little bit of a game. These are just, like, it's dark and it's gritty and there's things happening and then there's music and then just, like,
Well,
ah.
maybe with the occasional subtle bit because there is Silent Hills 2 and 4.
Still, that may not be although I do think like techno music would greatly improve the entire atmosphere of both of those games.
My wife, my name is James and I'm trying to find my wife. She said she was here.
Yeah, I think that would be a really great gameplay experience. I think that's what the developers actually intended.
Yeah, the developers intended for Silent Hill 2 to be a rave. Expect James Sunderland in a crop top twerking.
Because it's supposed to be funny, right? Because it's Silent Hill, but the hills are not silent. They are, in fact, popping off.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Yudo didn't want to copy anyone's homework. That's so cute. Yudo, you can
Konami watching.
You can put the same game as someone else. That's okay.
Yeah, well, how many times have we seen New Vegas, Dishonored, and Skyrim on here?
We have
And
new
Metal Gear
we have
Rising.
new Fallout New Dishonored multiple times.
Yeah. She fall out of my Dishonored until I Skyrim.
Yeah,
Are you okay?
that went down the wrong hole. I'm also not getting. There's not a lot of color here. by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just observing that you get no sprinkles. You in fact walk into the ice cream
No.
shop, pick up their thing of sprinkles, and throw it on the ground.
Yeah.
Ah, twisted metal. Didn't quite make the cut.
I could see I'd see that you're a Twisted Metal person.
But it's one of those ones where you're just like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I would also like to say that Twitch thinks that I like driving games because whenever I watch Favi streams, he's usually playing driving games. And so now Twitch is just like, hey, algorithm, you love driving games, right? And I'm like, I really don't. I'm just here to hang out. I don't actually know anything about cars.
Hey, you know that one song from that band that you thought was okay, but the rest of their discography you thought was kind of cringe? How about we throw you the rest of the fucking discography at you? And it's like, no, stop.
Favi's tastes
It's just the one song.
Favi's tastes like licking batteries. Okay, no, you know what it is? Favi's another one where it's not necessarily about the flavor of the ice cream. It's the atmosphere, and you're in the passenger seat with like a McDonald's ice cream cone that you got through the drive-through while he's doing 200k an hour, and it had like breaks suddenly, so you did faceplant the ice cream, which was a really sudden, jarring cold, but like somehow you're still having a good time.
You're in the Uber Eats delivery truck.
You are Mr. Uber Eats himself.
You are the Uber Eats.
Okay.
You know what?
Yep.
Crazy Taxi. Why the fuck isn't there Crazy Uber Eats?
I feel like that's a missed opportunity.
That is.
A horror drive event. Yeah, it's terrifying, but you're also going very fast, which is not actually why it's terrifying. It's just multitudes.
I think I'd agree with Frosty's durian flavored comment.
Durian flavored seems like that could like where you're just like it's really offensive in terms of like in your face when you first like okay like the smell or whatever, but then when you eat it you're like oh okay, no that makes sense. Yeah, no I like that. Like it's like oh that's a bit different and interesting, but I like that it's doing something different and interesting. Horror driver that will beat you. Yes, stinky.
Yeah. Tip your delivery drivers, people.
The horror is
they go through a lot.
Well, apparently, if you're in this Uber Eats car, absolutely you are.
Yeah.
The real horror, like the Silent Hill, creeping sense of dread, comes from someone in your office has cut durian and stored it in the communal fridge.
Oh.
I'm not talking from experience or anything.
Oh no.
Someone has done that. And literally to the point where I was just like, I think something's gone off in the fridge. So I had to be like, no, that's so-and-so's durian. I'm like, why would you bring durian to work? Are you trying to kill us?
At least that's a way to make sure people don't steal from your work fridge. It happened to me once.
Oh no, that's the worst.
I once had a whole half of a Domino's pizza in a work fridge ready to have as my lunch. Literally the only food I would end up having for most of that day. Someone eat it. My boss bought me chili cheese fries for compensation.
That would be my 13th reason. I'd have a meltdown, honestly.
Yeah.
That's so sad. The pizza too, because that would have been like, I'm really looking forward to eating some pizza later. That's monstrous.
It was.
Your food does get delivered in 20 seconds. This is Favi delivering you durian ice cream in 20 seconds or less while doing a sick kickflip, and then he gets out and fist fights you.
Yep.
So it's like blood and ice cream.
We need that to be a game.
I'd play that. That sounds fun.
Play it. That does sound. That would be fun. You get to play the fantasy of every DoorDash delivery person who's like, God damn it, I didn't get a tip on this order again. It's always this one address.
Fuck you. Yep.
Fuck you.
Yep. All right, moving on. Mr. Prowling. There's some.
Right.
Oh, we finally have some color. Oh, thank God.
Final Fantasy VIII. Okay. Metal Gear Solid. Dark Souls 1 and 2.
There's a Disco
Bloodborne.
Elysium for you again.
Yeah. And then we've got Metal Gear Solid 2, the Donkey Kong Country trilogy, Hollow Knight. That's good. That's a good one to put on.
Another one for their New
Hearts.
Vegas. Let's go.
Another New Vegas. Oblivion this time, not Skyrim. All right. Remnant. World of. Oh no, Warcraft 3, not World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft's right there. And then StarCraft and Final Fantasy X and Mario RPG.
I can't tell if you're old or not because you don't have a Pokemon title on there.
Pokemon, yeah, they don't have a Pokemon thing there.
That's my litmus test for like everything
or
in terms of age.
Alternatively, Dragon Quest Monsters.
I do think the StarCraft World of Warcraft combination definitely dates you, and I say that in the nicest way possible because don't worry, mine is very telling, especially when I say, yeah, these are the I grew up with these games. The Donkey Kong.
Didn't. Donkey Kong Country. I will say that Super Mario RPG could lend a bit more evidence to that.
Yeah.
Also excited for that remake coming out soon.
Like, these are some games that I feel like really deserve it.
Yeah. Solid list, I'd say.
Yeah,
very solid.
This like Dark Souls, Bloodborne kind of like, okay, so there's, the technical gaming element. And I mean, obviously Dark Souls has got to be there. He's named for a Dark Souls character. I feel like that would be really weird if you didn't have one on the list. Like, you're lying to yourself about who you really are.
So it looks like we've got more atmosphere stuff because Hollow Knight's very atmospheric. Donkey Kong Country is known for some of the best music on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. And a lot of these games, and hear me out here, are like building blocks in the sense of like, you think Donkey Kong Country, like that was revolutionary in its time. Like, have we improved on the formula since then? Sure, but you can't you can't disrespect it. You know what I mean? Like, you could play that game today now and it still holds up. It's not like it's a byproduct of bygone era. Same with like World of Warcraft. Like, that really popularized the concept of an MMO, full stop. Like, even though there are like other offerings now that are like more fresh and young and like whatever, like that is a solid choice. That is good. And then similarly with like, Oblivion, like the Final Fantasy offerings, these ones are like cornerstones. These are the backbone of gaming choices. And it's true, and you should say it.
Yeah.
Elden Ring is Dark Souls 2 if it was bad. Don't you hear my chat like that? You just lit a fire and ran away.
You just threw a full-on firework in the room and
Molotov.
Actually, no. You know that one meme of the guy that walks into the room and he goes, "Hey, you know what? Fuck your life." Bing bong, and throws a pigeon into the room. Yeah. It's like that.
Fuck your life. That is Prowling.
Fuck your life. Bing bong.
Also, Hearthstone. Interesting, but I don't disrespect it. I'm a card player, myself, so I like to spark engaging conversation. Is that what you call it? Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
Two of the chat members or the chat room is on fire and someone's trying to put it out with the fire extinguisher, but it's really a joke fire extinguisher, and Prowling is just sitting there with the Twitch chat smile on, being like, it's a totally interesting discussion.
Yeah, it was just a refined debate amongst learned friends.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of learned friends, one of my friends pointed out that in Ace Attorney, just hopping back to the people who had Ace Attorney on their lists, Edgeworth does refer to Phoenix as my learned friend, which I would like to also say is actually a really funny thing that real lawyers do, and it's so shady every time they do it. My human job has me dealing with some like legal matters sometimes, and I will never not laugh about lawyers referring to each other in a courtroom as my learned friend, because it's so bitchy. Like, they only say that if they're being cunty, but that's like the whole idea.
Yeah, it feels kind of like the weird lawyer equivalent of bestie.
It is, but like bestie in brackets disrespectful. Because if they get along, it's fine. It's like, oh yeah, we'll do summons, blah blah blah. You can do your submissions. Yep, I'll get you a copy of that, sure. But then it's my learned friend may have, not put his submissions in on time, and you're like, bitch. So like, it's disrespectful when they say my learned friend, but it's something that they genuinely do, and I find it funny every time I hear it.
Oh man.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart. Oh, bless your heart.
Bless your little cotton socks.
Oh, you forgot to fill your tires up while you were on the interstate? Oh, bless your heart.
Exactly.
Bless your heart, you dumb asshole.
You stupid bitch. That's like, I'm not allowed to cuss you out by the laws of the courtroom. So I'm going to, like, call you something that my learned friend. You're so smart. You're so learned. But the thing you just said is so fucking stupid. I think I am dumber for having heard it.
That's awesome.
It sounds like a kinky I mean, it could be. I mean, the sexual tension of the courtroom, I feel, was very accurately captured in Ace Attorney, so...
Do you think you'd call a particular toy the learned friend?
This is say hello to my learned friend.
That's a learned friend. Oh,
jeez. 60%.
So with all this,
makes you hate yourself.
What are we thinking?
Okay, 60% games that make me hate myself, 30% games that speak to my politics, and 10% cool monkeys. But the thing is, which one's which will surprise you.
Yeah.
Alright, so as I said, like, something foundational, I feel, for this flavor profile. I'm trying to figure out what exactly that might be.
Foundational, that's kind of on the more... Not traditionally foundational, like, this wouldn't be a vanilla base.
No, and that's exactly it, where it's like, it's something added to vanilla, where it's like, it's not just vanilla, okay, whatever, but it's just like, this is a real classic. This is like a staple. This is a flavor from which all other flavors have built themselves from. Hear me out here. Hear me out here. And this is kind of, like, not really, but sort of my thought process here. I'm like, what are some flavors, like some really, like, the first sweets themselves, like, what are flavor profiles that very, like, early in humanity itself were used as flavorings for this? I'm thinking something like in the realm of rose water, orange water and stuff. Like, those were syrups that got used to flavor most desserts around the world before we sort of were able to manufacture a lot of flavors. So something like a something like a floral, like vanilla with a rose jam or something, where it's like,
yeah.
it may not be everyone's favorite, and it's something that your grandma might like, so it's a little dated, but at the same time, it speaks to this volume of tradition and, like, this timelessness. It's timeless. That's what I'm going for.
Like a Werther's Original.
It's me. I'm Grandma. Hi, Grandma. Thanks for coming to the stream.
Where's my next Christmas check?
Yeah. Hope you found your dentures. No, but I think, like, vanilla with rose jam. That's That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. That's a good one.
All right, moving on. Yuto. Yuto, my love.
There's a second Yumeniki?
Apparently.
Huh. Wait.
Oh no.
Milk
no.
outside a bag of milk outside a bag of milk.
Baba
What?
is you. Ace Attorney, let's go.
Okay, hold on. I'm Dragon Quest Rockets. No, not Rocket Slime. That actually
Hang
released
on.
in the States. Slime Mori Mori Dragon Quest Shogeki no Shippodan.
Yes.
She has
Yep.
Moon Petra Enigma.
Oh, honey, I love that you've said, like, I try not to put too many obscure ones, and I'm just sitting here looking at, what the fuck is SimTunes? That sounds great. 2048, we out here. 2048 is a gangster, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise. I played that obsessively for weeks until I got 2048, and then I never touched it again.
What in the hell?
These are great. This is so good. No, exactly. Like, Yuto, the second I looked at this, I'm like, this is Yuto. Like,
This is unorthodox.
the flavor that I get, as you said, like indie, a little bit like was it Jordan? It's like obscure but like kind of artsy titles. Like these are titles that have something
Like
to
a
say.
fusion of Combo and Jordan.
Yes, exactly. Like what really is throwing me though is like Diablo 2 in the corner. Like somehow
Yeah, that's the one thing that seems normal out of this.
Somehow-
I've never heard milk outside a bag of milk.
somehow like Portal
Is
2 and
that?
Diablo 2 being the more common games are in fact the outliers here because that just doesn't fit the rest of this game flavor.
I'm looking this fucking thing up. Okay, it's received well. Okay, it's a visual novel. It's a
Yes.
horror visual novel.
Yes. It
And
looks like it.
And it seems like you're stuck in a time loop judging by the trailer. Okay.
Okay. That sounds good. Also, yeah, Frosty, enjoy your day at work. Make all the bread. Moon. Jazz Jackrabbit Collection. It's not just one, it's a collection. You know what?
Yeah, it's a
I like that Tetris is here. Speaking
Yeah,
of foundational games,
Yeah.
I'm glad someone was brave enough to bring this up.
I just am shocked that a Japanese exclusive Dragon Quest game is on here. That's a trip.
Yudo is that bitch. Like, oh, I'm
Like,
sorry, this wasn't
Yudo's
released in your language.
No, this is, you know what this is giving me vibes of? This is giving me vibes of like somebody went thrifting at a garage sale and they spotted this one thing in the corner that they were like, oh, that looks like a video game that I can plug into my console. Is it good? I don't know. And then they play it and they're like, this is the best fucking thing ever. It's
Yeah.
like that. This is the thrift store of video game lists we're looking at.
Yeah, like the hidden gems.
Yes.
I love that.
Also, I don't know if you saw this
Time
either,
for-
but Gumi keeps popping up on your screen.
He
and,
does that.
Oh, Gumi just apparates?
Yeah, he does.
Okay,
It's
he's
part of his charm.
Marty McFlying.
Yeah, there is a technical reason for it, and it's I don't know how to do it any other way except for that sometimes happens. But he's a haunted teddy bear, so I feel like that's just kind of something he does.
Okay, I just thought I had to ask about it. 'Cause
That's
I kept
fine.
Seeing it.
Sometimes people are like, the fuck was that? Like that's just Gumi. He does that sometimes. Don't worry about it. You don't need to question why.
Oh, Yudo, did I actually call it? That's how you got some of your games? Oh, wow.
No, see, okay, but that like patchwork quilting like effect of game interests, I think is really earnest, and I think that's really beautiful because you get to experience so many different genres and play styles, and especially like leaning so heavily into indie games. I think that has a lot of soul, like it has a lot of character.
Yeah.
Like it's all well and good to say like, oh yeah, this big title from big game developer is my favorite. Sure, whatever. But like this little game that like no one's heard of, that was made by one guy over the course of like 10 years, that they put their whole fucking blood, sweat, and tears into, and that's my favorite. Like, that somehow resonates so much harder and like speaks to like the quality of your character, that, you know, that little guy who's slaving away for 10 years, his efforts have been appreciated, you know, and that just makes the world so much more beautiful.
I'm just amazed that there's a second Yume Nikki.
Apparently it's not a second one. Is it a fan project? Yudo said. It's a derivative fan game that's been going on for 16 years. There you go.
What? Oh my god.
There you go. You're learning something new.
Wow. Oh. I think if there's anything that deserves the Superman flavor, it's this one.
Really, like the randomness of it all.
Yes. I can't describe
You
it
don't-
any other way.
It's okay. You don't have to like describe. The thing is that we're loving it. Like,
Yes.
even if I've never heard of any of these games, I'm actually kind of looking at some of these. I'm like, I'm gonna DM Yudo to be like, what's up with this game? Because that actually kind of looks good. Like, that looks fun. What is LSD Dream Emulator? That sounds great. What is
Something that'll be really weird after a couple edibles.
Yeah, well, that's true. Time fuck, quirk. Like, these also feel like fake games that were made up for a movie.
Those feel like something that'd be given away as a Burger King video. It feels like something that would be played
Cereal
on one of
box.
the old McDonald's Burger King, like,
Yes.
you know when they used to have
Yes.
those TV setups with GameCube controllers that they got rid of because
Yes.
big companies hate fun?
Yeah, like, these are cereal box games that were good. These are McDonald's toys that actually slap.
Yeah.
And, like, you're just never going to
know.
get back to there again.
I don't think they even do toys anymore.
I think they do, but they're just crap.
Ugh.
I know. Kids these days will never understand the joy of getting a toy that's actually, like, something good to play with.
Yup.
All right, lots of puzzles. Okay,
Sick.
here's what I'm thinking for the flavors here, right? It's very artsy. It's very creative. It's like some random guy has conceptualized this in his basement and decided to make it and sell it. So it's got to be something that's just like, oh, I wouldn't have thought to like maybe put those two flavors together, but it actually really works. Or it's like, I wouldn't have thought to make ice cream out of that. But unlike the cucumber gelato where you're like, I don't know about that, the fact that the rest of this is so cohesive, you're like, no, I trust that this is actually going to be, like, I want that. That's going to be really good. I'm trying to
I'm
think
still
of what
going
that
with
would
my
be.
Superman flavor one. Because it's a very kaleidoscopy kind of thing.
It is very colorful. And the platforming of it all, I think, also lends itself to that. I'm having to cook on this one a little bit. My instinct is to say something like, it's gonna be like, oh, it's a cherry blossom and sea salt swirl, and you're like, how is that gonna work together? But then you try it and you're like, oh wow, whoever put this together has tried so many different combinations to make this perfect for the eater experience. It is criminal that this is not more widely sold and accepted and loved as a flavor profile.
Yeah.
So you've got like a
Okay.
little pink and a little blue, kind of little swirly. I think that would be really
I
cool.
see. I could see that. Oh, hello. You're getting a raid.
Cryo!
Hello, Cryo.
Thank you for the raid. Hello, raiders. How was your stream? I don't know if any of my mods are in chat. Let me give you a little shout out myself. What were
And
you?
whilst you're doing the shout out, what were you up to?
I was gonna say, what were you streaming? Mario
Sorry.
Kart 8.
Sorry
Delicious.
for interrupting.
You will be. Pretend there's a raid message here. I'm very tired. Oh wow, oh my god, that was such a heartfelt raid message that Cryo wrote, and I love it so much. Thank you so much. I hope you had a good time. Raiders, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Elizabeth Neal. This is Will.
Hello.
And right now we are taking your top 25 games and judging them harshly. And by harshly, I mean I'm assigning ice cream flavors to these ones.
It's Lilith's own brand of harsh.
Mm.
It really depends. Like if she gives you a flavor you disagree with, that's where the harsh comes in.
Exactly, but it's a tough world, and I can usually explain my thought process though.
Yeah.
Cryo, we did do yours just a little while ago, but I do have a timestamp, so when I upload the VOD, I can give that one to you.
Yeah.
But this one here, I'm saying cherry blossom sea salt.
Yep. I agree.
Moving on. Oh, here we go. We're coming to the end. You. This is the one that kicked off this entire stream concept. So, Will, why don't you walk us through some of the highlights here?
So my highlights, for those top 5, Zelda, Wind Waker, Shadow of the Colossus, Dragon Quest XI, Witcher, and No More Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my top 5, period.
Okay.
Those, I plan on getting tattoos on my back of these 5 games from representations. I already have No More Heroes.
Nice.
So, Wind Waker I picked because I played that the most out of most of the Zeldas. I know that game by heart, and I love it to death. Mm-hmm. And it's my favorite Zelda, far and away.
Yep.
Shadow of the Colossus is one that affected me very much when I played it on the PS2 originally. Played the PS4 remaster of it and loved that just as much, if not more so, because of the enhanced visuals.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Quest XI S is a heartfelt JRPG that is criminally underplayed. Latest in the series, got a 10-hour-long demo you can play on any of the platforms of choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I almost want to make a whole copy pasta in the style of the FF14 one,
Yep.
So I plan.
You don't have to apologize. I like that these ones were different, and I like that it made me think.
No need to apologize at all. This has been fun. Yours was fun.
I didn't say give me your top 25 games that everyone's heard of. I said give me your top 25.
Yeah, we give us your top 25, and we get to hear about some things we might not have heard of before.
Mm-hmm. Also, Alpha Sapphire being on here is a good pick.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's the Pokemon game that I think I spent the most time in besides Sun and Moon, I believe.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
So Witcher 3 was one of the first RPGs I've played that really emphasized, consequences in a story and your choices do matter. I remember in particular when I went through a side quest of a very prominent character. Mm-hmm. Certain all of you who've played Witcher 3 know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. When I got a ending that is not good, I felt awful.
You had an emotional reaction.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that hurt me.
I love that.
It was such a well done sequence.
I love it when you get those moments that just really actually get you, that really resonate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that genuinely make you feel the pins and needles sort of emotional tinge.
Yes, that's what we want.
Exactly. And for No More Heroes 1, that game essentially awoke me to the fact that while games can also attempt to be emotional experiences, sometimes they can just be completely weird and out of left field and just kind of anarchic against the general scope of games. And that's why I like Suda stuff, and that's why I have the No More Heroes star tattooed on my back.
No More Heroes is also really self-aware of how it's almost self-aware of the fact that it's a video game. You know what I mean? It's like, go mow this person's lawn and then go and fight God. And you're like, okay. And it's ridiculous, but it's not trying to be anything but ridiculous.
Exactly. It's aware. It plays a lot of its ridiculousness straight.
Yes.
But not so straight that it's that it's downplaying any of the goofy antics that Travis gets up
It's
to.
like genre aware, and I think that's what I
Yes.
like about it.
Exactly. Whereas on the opposite end of the spectrum, Disco Elysium, that's another one like Witcher 3 that awoke my eyes and like, okay, no, that's art form as video game.
Games are
Like-
art.
Disco Elysium is not just the most well-written video game I've ever played, it's the most well-realized video game I've ever played. Like, when I say well-realized, I mean in the way that the world building done in that, like, it is not a huge game. It doesn't have fancy cinematics. Like, most of its world building is done by a character talking and a text crawl and some music and some relatively basic visuals. And it accomplishes so much with so little, and it tells it so masterfully. It's just, oh God,
I like
it's
it.
so good.
I like it. I also
It's-
like
and
that
it's-
Kingdom Hearts 2 is here. This is another
Yeah.
one where number 2 has featured.
Yeah, Final Mix specifically because I like the extra content on there
True.
in Kingdom Hearts.
True.
Was a cornerstone of my early teen years.
I have also cried to Utada Hikaru's music once or twice in my time.
For me, it was Roxas's theme.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Roxas is my favorite Kingdom Hearts character.
That's a good choice. Thank you for the bit.
And
I'm eating it.
As for other RPGs that affected me, Live Alive. So this one, when I first heard about it and that it hadn't come to the West yet, I was like, huh, now of all times and done in the HD 2D style? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yep.
And then I played it
Uh-huh.
and I was like, oh, okay, that's really cool. It's a very solid like 8 to 8.5 out of 10 game for me because it still has some holdovers from its Super Nintendo days that are like not aged the best. But the way that it ensembles the stories all together and its ending, just I still think about the ending. I
It's a-
still sometimes
It's a
quote
game
it to
I've
myself.
heard
It's so
of,
good.
but I've never played it. But I have been interested in playing it.
I love it a lot. In fact, the little robot friend is featured in the starting soon screen that I showed you.
Ah, that all links back. It's all coming around full circle.
Yeah, I love that little robot friend. They're great.
I love a little robot
So-
friend.
Yeah, it just hit me in a particular way that I did not expect. And on top of that, it even inspired like the boss music in it inspired Megalovania.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I did not know that before starting it. So there's a little fun
Ah.
Undertale fact for you.
There you go. See, again, foundations, building blocks. We love to see it.
Yeah, and another little foundation regarding my love of JRPGs, the one that I easily played the most as a kid, mostly because the Seth Green commercials were funny, Dragon Quest IX.
I've
So-
heard of that one.
I've put hundreds of hours into that, building different characters and getting them to alternate different jobs. I recently remembered the Seth Green commercials were a thing, and I hope that if they do remake 9, that they bring him back for some more commercials. Because they were funny.
That was like the win advertising because it actually inspired you to look into the thing.
Yes, like so the commercials would all like there were only 2 commercials, but the plot of one of them was like this: a girl gets some tickets, and she's got like one ticket that she doesn't know what to do with, and and her friends are like, "Oh, pick me, pick me! I can do this. I'll go with you." And then it and then it pans to Seth Green sitting next to them, going, "Haha, choices. In Dragon Quest IX, I can pick between different kinds of jobs in order to have in my party. I chose a warrior. Who will you choose?" Cuts to the girl at a concert, and then a guy with a guy in full chainmail and a helmet tosses a random bystander aside and starts screaming.
That
That's the.
that leaves an impact.
It leaves an impact, and it just did enough, and then I fell in love with Dragon Quest from there on point.
I love ads
So-
that are kind of only tangibly related to the thing, but are just so inexplicable. You're like, no, that fits. That's
Yeah,
good. That was
it
a good
did.
choice.
It was a very fun. I still think it's fun, even if I do think parts of it could be improved immensely. And it did. Sadly, it was one of those games that kind of came alongside a gimmick and was more or less lived or died by its gimmick.
Yeah. Yep. It's sad when that works out. Like, it's good when it works, but when it doesn't, it's sad, you know?
Yeah. In the case of Dragon Quest IX, it was the fact that it had multiplayer, and you and your friends could create your own characters and just play through the world together. But DS Online is not a thing anymore, so
R.I.P. You were
yeah.
too pure and too good for this world.
But speaking of too good for this world, we've got Hades. When I heard about this and saw some of the designs, I heard the name Supergiant Games before, and I was like, okay, they seem like decent devs. They seem like they've got good stuff. Then I see Hades, like, character design, art, and all that, and then I'm like, oh no, I have to try this one.
Yep.
And then I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the characters. Fact that it did so much with a roguelike concept for a story was fucking genius.
Yep.
And it got me into their other games.
Which,
After
you know,
I finished this one.
Hades is, again, one of those ones that's on my list to play, but the reason I haven't played it, and this is going to sound really stupid to people who don't get it, but those who get it will understand, is that I know that I'm going to get really hyper fixated on it, and I'm going to be really obsessed with it, and I have not had time to have a new hyper fixation. You know what I mean? So I've just been like waiting until I have like a little bit of time, because I'm just like, I love like ancient mythology and lore and like all of that sort of stuff. Even the gameplay looks like something I would kind of enjoy, even though I don't typically play roguelikes. But I'm just like, I need to play it, and I will play it. I own it. I just have not had the breathing space to allow myself to like devour it as voraciously as I want to.
For the myth lover of you, you are going to love this game.
And I
because
know this.
Supergiant Games did their research to an extent that I did not expect. And in fact, they did their research so well, they actually they did their own version of recontextualizing a mythical, or like Zagreus's real mythical origin as their own. They did a recontextualization for the actual real world myth that I think is fucking genius and funny.
Which I think is beautiful. Like, when you know your stuff so well that you have basically created a new canon for something that has existed for centuries, I think that's magic.
You need to play it.
I'm gonna. Don't you worry. And when I do, everyone's gonna know about it, because it's all I'm gonna talk about for like a couple of years.
I will await the thirst trap posts of Megara. I will have them on my desk by Tuesday.
Signed and dated. Don't you worry about that. The second I'm just like, so, Megara, you'll know. You'll know it's on.
Yep. I'll know. I'll know.
It's like the bat symbol in the sky. It's Lilith has played Hades. It's happening. It's not a drill.
I'll just add another cup of coffee to my thing, and I'll just drink it, and I'll be like, finally. In case of Lilith, Hades break glass.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just like a bunch of wet weather gear, because you're all going to be in the splash zone.
Yup.
That said, I like how much color I am seeing on this one. I like how much diversity there is, but there's still, like, in all of these games, I think that there is a running theme. And it's like games that are love letters to their origin. Like Hades is a love letter to mythology. Stardew Valley is a love letter to like Harvest Moon and cozy games that came before it. Like
Devil May Cry 5 is a love letter to pretty much all of Devil May Cry.
Yeah. Yakuza 0, love letter to the franchise as a whole. No More Heroes, love letter to like just action games being ridiculous. As for what flavor that entails, I've been kind of like musing on it a little bit, and here's what I think, right? I'm thinking like a strawberry cheesecake because a lot of the
Really?
hear me out. A lot of the games on here are ones that I wouldn't necessarily like immediately think of. But whenever I see them, I'm going to get really excited because I'm like, oh my god, Pokemon Emerald, that slaps. Hades, that slaps. Devil May Cry 5, that slaps. For me, it's like if I go to an ice cream place and I'm looking at the offerings and I'm like, beforehand, while I'm waiting in line, I'm thinking, oh, I could get like a vanilla, or I could get like I don't know if they got like a banana or something. That sounds nice. But then I see they've got like a really fancy like strawberry cheesecake with like little graham cracker bits in it. I'm going to be like, oh, I'm done. That's it. That's what I want. I don't need to see anything else. I'm really excited about that. And I know I'm going to like it. And I know it's going to be good. And it's going to satisfy all of my lusty cravings for sweetness right now.
It's gonna tick all the boxes, as it were.
Yes, that's a lot of these games are like, yep, we're ticking boxes. I'm going to like partake of this and be satisfied.
And I should also say some of these entries on here are ones that I kind of thought of because I couldn't think of anything else. Drawn to Life, I remember spending much of time on alongside Mario Kart Double Dash.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these are ones that are games that came out this year, like Octopath 2 and Hi-Fi Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Both games you should definitely play. I'm saying this both to you and to the audience.
Also, good night, Yudo. Have a fantastic sleep and sweet dreams. Mwah.
Sweet dreams.
There's your kiss. It's your good night kiss. Go bed. But no, I appreciate that there's modern offerings too.
I appreciate the assignment of strawberry cheesecake. I'll wear it with pride.
Thank you. Because next we have my list.
You. Okay, Sims, original Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fire Emblem Awake. Hey, No More Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Dramatical Murder. Tales of Vesperia. Nice. Judith X Yuri for Life.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Final Fantasy 10. Crash Team Racing.
Mm-hmm.
Barbie's Race and Ride.
Yep.
Pokemon's Gold and Silver. Harvest Moon. Okay.
Specifically Harvest
Interesting
Moon,
list.
Friends of Mineral Town. The original
And World Ends With You.
on Game Boy.
Wow.
So, first impressions. You old. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. I was going to say, like,
Yeah,
when I was
these are
reading
very-
other people about, like, oh, this dates you, I'm like, I can say that because I know when we get to mine, there are some choices.
I see it. There are some choices here. Like the fact that it's original Gold and Silver and Sapphire.
Yeah. Because I debated, do I do Heart Gold? And I'm like, well, as much as I like Heart Gold and how it, really improved on things, when we're talking about games that really shape who I am and, like, really speak to, like, who I am, that little like 8-year-old Lilith on the playground with her Espeon, like, writing self-insert Pokemon fan fiction to submit as a creative writing assignment to her English teacher, that's what it's about. That's who she is. Crystal is on there for one reason only, and it's because it's the first Pokemon game you could play as a girl.
Did your professor or did your teacher give you a
I
good grade
laugh
because
like
you,
Titus. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I thought we were friends. Oh my God. No one's ever said that to me before.
Oh my God. Wow. Yuno just fucking going for the jugular. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Are you actually stunned? Did you just get stun locked?
I'm genuinely laughing so hard. I started crying.
Oh,
fuck. Oh God. Oh.
Oh my god.
Okay. Oh my god, I think
Holy
I
shit.
peed a little bit. Jesus Christ.
Wow. Oh.
Fuck my dragon. No, it's fine. It's fine. That is the
Holy
funniest.
shit.
That's the funniest, most
Holy
savage
shit.
thing someone's ever said to me.
Damn.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm good. I'm fine.
Wow.
I'm fine.
Oh man. That was like I have never
wow.
I have never seen somebody get hit with a fucking like one-hit KO move like fissure or horn drill in person before.
I just
but
took
that
like
fucking
100
did
points
it.
of psychic damage.
Oh man.
It's okay, Yuto. I forgive you. That's really funny because sometimes I do, and it's fair.
Holy shit. Wow. Oh.
Oh god. All right. Oh. Whew. Whew. All right. We're good. We're good.
Oh, my face hurts.
I love you. It's,
Don't cry. That was the funniest fucking thing.
I'm not even.
Holy
I'm not
shit.
offended at all. I'm just like, holy fuck. What a
Oh
thing.
my god.
That's so funny.
Decimation.
Oh jeez. I felt myself like blue screen. Like my whole body just took a screenshot. I think. What were we talking about? I don't even remember.
Something about schoolyard fan fiction, and I was
Right.
gonna ask you if your teacher would have given you an A because you shipped yourself with Steven Stone.
I believe I got an A purely just on volume because this is actually a thing that happened. Where our teacher was like, you need to submit a creative writing piece and it can be about whatever you want. It's worth noting that we were in like 5th or 6th grade at this point. So the requirements was just, it had to be minimum half a page, right? And then there's me just like, okay, sure. But the problem that the teacher didn't do is she didn't give a maximum. So I'm pretty sure I handed her about 50 pages of my like typed up self-insert Pokemon journey from my starting town all the way to finish like defeating the Elite Four, including all of the Pokemon I battled and captured on the way, and all of the like gyms and trainers and all the friends I made and all like. It was a little bit psychotic, actually. I think just purely on the fact that I typed that much in like the space of a couple of days that we had to do this assignment. She's just like, here's your A, but you didn't have to do that. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't have a chance to go into a lot of the themes that I really wanted to. I had to like really skip over some of these extra islands and things, which I feel like is a letdown. But if I was to review it, you know, if I went back through and did a revised edit, I could probably do a director's cut version of this publication.
I never expected to run into somebody who would have the fanfic equivalent of Neil Gaiman being like, I really wanted to include Shadow Chalk talking to Jesus. That's what this feels like right now.
That's exactly what it was like. And I think my teacher was a little bit like, can we get
Scared?
an autism check on aisle 3? Like, except
Can
back,
we get
except back then,
a
you know, it was just,
hyperfixation battle?
it was
Holy
just,
fuck.
Lilith's just a bit of a, she's very creative.
Yeah,
She doesn't seem
holy
to have
shit.
many friends. But she's really good at her classwork. That's what, thank you. I'm glad someone respects it. I do not have a copy of it anymore, regretfully, but I know that I made it.
Oh, if you had a copy, you could have done a stream reading of
That would
it.
have been so good. Let me go through some of my choices here. So, similarly, Friends of Mineral Town is a game that I think is probably my favorite of all time. Another fun story for me is like I once cried, like genuine sobbing breakdown over this game. Not because something that happened in the game, but everyone in the game was so nice to me that I felt bad that they were only game characters who were programmed to do the same thing like every day for the rest of their lives, and I felt that they deserved better. Wouldn't you think, oh, that's really cute, you were like a little kid? No. It's like 15.
Oh.
Like sitting on the steps of school, bawling my eyes out, completely unable to explain to other people exactly why I was crying. But like, I just felt really, I'm like, they were so nice to me and they treat me so well and I'm part of the community, but they can only do the same thing every day. They don't even have freedom, and they deserve freedom because they're such good people. I just had a lot of feelings.
Somebody should make a game about that concept.
Yeah. I agree.
Wow. That is not what I was expecting out of that.
It's a little bit existential if you think about it.
That's the word for it.
Yeah.
That's a good word for it. Existential.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Pokemon Gold and Sapphire are the ones that I really spent the most time with. I think that those really sort of shape a lot of my tastes in adventure. Barbie Race and Ride, I know everyone's looking at this one being like, what's up with that? That was my first game that I ever owned on the PlayStation 1. And I have put so many hours into that. It's barely a game, like it's a Barbie game from back then. It's basically shovelware. But that game, I could play for fucking hours, and I'm like, yeah, I am brushing this horse. My favorite was the Palomino. Okay, I'm just saying. And you could like
Barbie's
put on
race
your...
and ride stream when?
I honestly, don't tempt me. Don't threaten me with a good time. I'll do it. I will do it. The original Tomb Raider, similarly, when my brother was first born, he used to just cry a lot. Nothing was wrong, but he was just one of those babies that just like wanted to have a meltdown. So my poor mother, Mama Vanille, had to put him down and then just like leave him. And so it's like you have this crying baby, and she's like, I need something that's going to drown out the noise of this crying child and also like take some of the edge off for me. So she started playing Tomb Raider. She's like, I'm just gonna shoot shit. That's gonna be great. And so like little
Guns and dinosaurs.
Yeah, and then little Lilith would sit there and like watch her play it, and it turned into this whole like family thing where like one of us would be reading the walkthrough and like mom would be playing, and the rest of us would all sit around and watch and like enjoy it as like a little family thing. So that was cute.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
I know. And then this is the part I think that really ages me, is that I remember when The Sims 2 was first announced to be coming out. I was really excited about that.
Oh, wow.
Because I played The Sims when I was a kid, and then I'm pretty sure The Sims 2 came out when I was just getting into high school, or I think I was still in primary school, actually. When did The Sims 2 come out? Hang on. But I used to that was one of my hyperfixations, where I would take, the grid books you'd have for like your maths class. I would just draw like house plans in them.
Oh, looks like Lilith wants to be an architect. Look at these nice house plans you're drawing up, Lilith. Oh, you'll be able to build such wonderful homes for people out in the...
That's the dungeon.
Out in Queensland or something, and it's just like the massive corridor to one bathroom.
Yeah, I'm like, no, that's the art dungeon where the gremlin who does all of the art lives. Here you go. It came out in 2004. I was in 7th grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time is weird.
Yeah. CTR, similar, classic, childhood. Buster Groove is like a rhythm dancing game on the PlayStation 1 where I still listen to some of the music from it nowadays, so I had to include it. It's great. It's like 90s dance music. It's so good. Genshin Impact, again, it's current.
That has been your time sink.
Yep. I don't want to talk about how many hours I've probably spent in that game. It's not a small amount. Final Fantasy X.
Do we ask about money though? Do we ask about the money?
What money? That's crazy. What? I don't even know what money is. Shh. Shh. Shut up. Anyway, Final Fantasy
Listen, I
X
had
is
a
a great
gacha
game.
fixation too. I'm fine.
Yeah, okay,
You're
okay.
good.
All right, I'm glad. This is a safe
What,
place.
That's what Yu-Gi-Oh! Masters Duel was to me.
There
I
we
didn't
go.
spend any money on it, but I spent too much unreasonable time, and I eventually decided no after
Fell.
I had one too many times fighting Link monsters, which are a stupid thing.
They are stupid. Agreed. Final Fantasy X was my first Final Fantasy and my first PlayStation 2 game, which I actually got when the PlayStation 3 had just dropped because all of the PlayStation 2 stuff went on sale, like super dropped in price, so I was able to get one when I was a little teenager. 12, I think, is my favorite Final Fantasy, and I will happily fist fight anyone who's got opinions about that.
Oh boy.
Yep. I will defend that with my life.
Wow.
Very special to me.
Fran is so hot.
No, it's Balthier. He's the leading man.
I don't know who Bothy is.
Balthier,
Oh, okay.
he's the other sky pirate.
Okay, yeah, I haven't played 12. I just know 12 from the fact that people like Fran a lot.
I was a teenage girl and he wore really tight leather pants. What was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to do? I also love that it's been enough time that when I first played it, it was like, oh my god, he's such like an older, cooler guy. And now I can play it and be like, that is a child. He is 22 years old. What do you mean he's going through all of this stuff? That is a baby. It's a little baby man.
It's literally like that Mega Man Battle Network NPC that's like the old man with the cane and it goes, I'm 30 years old.
Yeah, basically. We got Final Fantasy 14 because, of course, you know, again, put a lot of hours into it. Haven't played it as much recently, but it comes and goes in waves. The World Ends With You, great game. Headlined by Tetsuya Nomura of Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts fame. It's very street edgy. It's very mid 2000s.
Yeah.
But it's good.
I only know about it because of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. I'm doing Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 for my list. Because for me, Kingdom Hearts will always be a game that I played everything, all of the Kingdom Hearts media in a month and a half. Because one of my friends leading up to Kingdom Hearts 3's release was like, I don't have any friends to talk about Kingdom Hearts with. Did you maybe want to play like a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 1 so like we could talk about it because like that'd be really cool and we could bond over it. And I'm like, you are my best friend. I'm going to play everything so that we can really talk about it. And she's like, that's insane. You can't do that. That's literally impossible. And I said, oh, okay. So as soon as someone said you can't, I'm like, bet. And so, yeah.
Okay, so what you should do to get Lilith to play something is be like, oh, Lilith, surely you can't be able to go through all of these things in Hades or something to beat the sequence, and then you'll go like, oh, what, bitch? And then do it.
Yeah, I'm ashamed of how much that would work.
You need to do it out of spite.
Yes, I am.
That's the ticket.
Very heavily motivated by spite. As soon as you say, oh, there's no way you could do that, watch me. Watch me. And I'm very proud to say that exactly 12 hours the night before Kingdom Hearts 3 dropped, I finished the last piece. Like, I played the main games, I played the side games, the games I couldn't get my hands on, I watched all of the cutscenes and, like, playthroughs of. I was up to date.
Wow.
I did the math because I had like time off of work around Christmas at that time. So literally I'd like wake up, play Kingdom Hearts, eat, go to bed, next day, repeat for like a couple of weeks. It averaged like 6 hours per day of Kingdom Hearts content for
Holy
like a
shit,
month and a half
full
straight.
Work day.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But I did it, and I'll always be very proud of that. No more heroes though.
Ooh. Yes, based. Also love that. Like I agree with a lot of a lot of the entries here.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Fire Emblem
I
Awakening.
show solidarity for that one too. Like that one, Sacred Stones was my first game, first game in Fire Emblem, and then Awakening made me like the series more. And Awakening, at the very least, didn't go so far into the pandering side of Fire Emblem until Fates came out.
Yeah.
Like Fates was the real one that made me kind of go like, what are they deciding on here?
Awakening was
But
actually
Awakening
my
is still good.
first. And I have a soft spot still for Gaius. I mean, he likes his little candies. As soon as I saw him, I was like, that one. I want that. I'm taking that
Yeah.
home with me. I kind of missed Fates, but then I did play Three Houses, but I have thoughts and opinions on Three Houses.
I
They're not all
liked
bad.
Three Houses. My thoughts on it is that I find it a little mechanically bloated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's just kind of got too much in it for gameplay wise, where like the normal gameplay loop would have satisfied enough.
Yeah, I agree. I've also put Animal Crossing New Leaf, which is a 3DS title, not New Horizons, because I feel like New Leaf felt a lot more realized. Like everyone felt a lot more distinct. There was mini games, like there was a lot more progression. It just felt like you were actually living a life in amongst these friends as opposed to just, you know, you ran the town and you got to do everything. Like that's all, you almost gave us too much control.
Yeah, it feels like New Horizons. I actually tried a little bit of, and it was not for me. I knew Animal Crossing wasn't entirely for me, and I've seen it drop. You know, I actually have something that I would love to tell you and chat about. So, Animal Crossing New Horizons has some issues regarding some quality of life things with its UI and its gameplay and all that, like not
Yep.
being able to group craft an item.
Yeah, that's
Things
terrible.
like that.
I hate that.
There's some genius out there made a fake Nintendo Direct
Oh
that
my
would
God.
serve as a fake announcement
No.
for included features
No.
into it. So because you know it's fake, but it's so convincingly edited and narrated,
You'll have to link that.
you're gonna watch this and you're going to feel fucking pain in your abdomen.
I bet.
From watching it. I will find it for you and link it to you later.
Please do. Please do. And the only other one that I put on there, which is like really a little bit strange, was Dramatical Murder, simply because I'm like, I don't know if this was defining for me, but whenever I was trying to think of like the last couple of games to fill out the list, it kept popping back into my brain like a weird little like earworm, and I'm like, okay, fine, you can go on the list, I guess.
Fine, hot anime boys, you can do it.
Yep, that's fine. I suppose I did really enjoy playing it, and I would probably play it again. So, there you go. Now, I'm going to hand it over to you first to see what flavor profile you think this identifies.
Oh man. I'm not as knowledgeable about ice cream flavors or flavor profiles, but from what I'm seeing here, you like a lot of stuff that's fairly fantastical but has a sense of mundanity to it. Like Animal Crossing, Tales of Vesperia, Atelier, Persona, Kingdom Hearts. All of these, well, a lot of these have a fantastical element to them, but are rooted in a sense of a mundane or normal-ish kind of cycle of things.
And you know what? That is
Even
actually my favorite parts of all of those games, even ones that aren't necessarily that's their genre, is like living a mundane life in a fantasy world.
Yeah, like having an actual, like being a magical girl.
Yes. That's all I want. That's my escapism.
So I need to think of a magical girl-esque kind of flavor profile.
Okay. You can do it.
I may have to do a little typing up.
Some keyboard ASMR.
Yeah, little keyboard ASMR.
I think if you went for like a mixed berry or something, but just like one of those ones that's like lots of little glittery jewel tones, like it looks sparkly.
Yeah, kind of like if they like crystalline sugar being added in.
Yeah. And then, so, the berries are very much that, like, cottage core, like, living on the land, but it's with that, like, fantastical flavor, as you were saying. That, like, fantasy element.
This is a tough one. No, what? No, Google, stop push notifying me. Stop that.
Magical Girl me! I want to be a Magical Girl protagonist. Yay! It's like I want to be a magical girl who's just like farming magical ingredients. That's all I want.
This is a very so a bit of a hominess, but with a sense of fantasticalness to it. Yeah, a mixed berry really would fit the best, but like add a bit of like a fun pop to it all. It'd probably be like in a waffle cone that's chocolate dipped and got sprinkles on it.
Yes, and like a little whipped cream and like you get like the little chocolate dip. So it's just like, ooh, you got like that little crunchy chocolate outside, but then inside it's just all like soft and homey and like pretty.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I like that. Definitely.
Yeah, I think that works.
Sprinkles are a given. You dip in the chocolate and then you dip in the sprinkles.
Yeah. It's like I picture that one. I think it's a TikTok of the guy that's like seeing an ice cream sundae being reversed, and he's like reacting like, "Oh, what are you doing? Not the peanuts, the sprinkles. You're not taking the whipped cream away. No."
Exactly that. All right, I'll happily be a mixed berry in a sprinkled chocolate dip. I think that works well, and I'm pretty sure that is the last one on our list.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think we've done very well to assign flavors of ice cream to everyone's deep and personal favorite games.
This was a lot of fun.
I agree.
Absolutely fun. Like I like getting to see all y'all's tastes were like I've learned about some games I never even knew existed.
Oh, that's exactly it. Yeah, Yudo, please sleep. Yudo, go sleep.
Go sleep, please.
We're finishing up.
Go bed.
Yeah. Night.
We're gonna wrap up here soon.
Exactly. You're welcome for your nom-noms. But no, I'd like to thank Will for conceptualizing this idea and bringing it to me. I think this was good.
Well, thank you for letting me be on here. I really
You're so
this
welcome.
was a lot of fun. Like genuinely. I really enjoyed getting to just discuss and chat with you and have fun. Just tearing each other down. Just
Debating.
really exposing ourselves and debating and
I like seeing the
giving the tea, as it
variety
were.
in like, okay, people who are part of my community, people who are friends, people who are sort of, we're all sitting at the same table, yet we have some really different like favorites. So I think it's really interesting to see like the through lines on genres and games that connect us, because there are definitely like some similarities across the board that I think really makes sense. Some cohesion.
Yeah, like a sense of cohesion despite very different starting points.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we've taken up enough of everyone's time. So with that, I think we have to say goodbye.
Oh,
I know.
Sad
Luckily,
moment.
I will get the VOD and I will make sure that I upload it so that we can relive the magic whenever we wish.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Just put it on as your nice nighttime bed ASMR.
Put it on as Lilith gets roasted for laughing like Titus.
God damn. I feel like that's my therapist is going to hear about that.
Yeah, your therapist is going to hear about that, and they'll put their clipboard down and sort of look out the window for a good minute or two and before they get
Be
up
like,
and then
"What does
leave the
that
room
mean?"
and say like, I'm sorry, but this is too much.
This is above my pay
Like,
grade.
this is above my pay grade.
Oh, thank you very much to everyone who contributed their tier list for us to go over. I appreciate you giving us some good games to look up and letting
Oh,
us
yeah.
discuss your favorites. But
Yeah,
with that said,
this was fun.
Will, is there anything you'd like to finish with? Anything you'd like to communicate to the masses?
Just thank you for indulging this idea, Lilith and chat. I just kind of spitball this idea out because I know you said you wanted to do more collabs, and I thought,
do.
well, it'd be a fun idea, and I thought, why not? Why not do this to
Correct.
kind of let's get to know each other a little bit more
It
in
was a
terms of our
fun
favorite
idea.
games.
Well done. Good
So,
good conceptualizing.
Yeah.
And if you don't already,
Thank
go
you.
follow Will's channel. He also streams and has very good games and gameplay, and is fun and cool and funky, fresh and fly.
And same with Lilith. Go follow her.
Yeah, follow me.
If you're new here and haven't followed already, and
should.
also throw all the subs at her.
Yes, I'll eat them live on camera. Delicious.
All the subs and bits.
Yum. They taste good. Anyway, I'm going to leave now. Farewell, everyone. Have a fantastic night. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.